Indeed it is, and thank you for that wonderful disclaimer, Lisa from criticalmassradio.co.uk. Hi, welcome to Outside the Box Open Forum tonight. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia. And we're going to be touching on a whole lot of stuff tonight. Lots of time today to do a little touring around and, hook up with, studio, get some music and what have you. Lots more to come, but I have to talk to the studio owner and see about the other 120 or so files that I know I have there. Anyway, I got maybe 8 to 10 files today, so the rest was pretty much unusable that I can access. Need Pro Tools for it. But anyway, it's all good because I got a couple of gems that I added to the board tonight, and so I'm gonna do a little bit of tune spinning as we get ourselves all settled in for a nice Saturday night worth of I Hope You Can Handle It truth. Because this is the problem I run into most of the time, and it's one of the reasons why people love to hate me and hate to love me. It's been that way my whole life, because I'm a perfect reflection. It took me a long time to figure that out, wondering why things happen the way they do, and it's like, wait a minute, that's kind of the opposite of what wait a minute, that's because I'm the mirror. Better sort that out. And just for all you people out there that have it one way, I'm going to tell you right now, that mirror works both ways, huh? And that reflection is coming back and forth, is going both ways. Are you looking at it to see how you can judge the other, or are you looking at it to see how you can judge yourself? Okay, that's a tricky one. That means I have to take responsibility for all my bullshit now. Yeah, sorry about that. I did. What are the odds, eh? What are the odds? Anyway, for those that are wondering, might as well just get this right out of the way, because I'm sure there are a few people wondering that caught the archive from last night. I did tag Tony right after the show and said, see you tomorrow, and what was the response? It came in at about 5 o'clock today. I'll tell you in a sec. Just so you know, it was at, 4:49, 10 to 5. I guess see you tomorrow night was my statement last night at 10:30, and today it was, nope, need a few days to think things over. Well, Tony, I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to give you all the time in the world you need to think it over. I started this game solo. I will finish it solo. And I just wrote back, no problem, I already figured that. And that was I was weighing a lot of things up today, and I don't want to be anybody's problem. Or anyone's mirror too strong, and that's it. No harm, no foul. I'm good. I'm good. It's okay. All things for a reason, and I'm not going to get caught up in any drama. Sorry, been there, done that. You know the routine: t-shirt, tank top thing, right? Anyway, so we're going to keep it on track. No more fear porn at all. I'm tired of dissolving it. And it can be as simple as something as, well, we need this to do healing, and we need that to do healing, and, well, the mirror of that is, why? Because you're reinforcing the concept that someone has disease. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Now, do you guys remember the movie Wizard of Oz? Here's a really, hey, Brian, thank you. You got Pro Tools Studio. If you have files you need open, you can do that. Okay, well, my friend, I'm going to be sending you a few files, and see if you can scoop those down into mixed versions of MP3s. We're going to have some fun, my friend. That's a studio friend down in New York. There you go. How about that? Wow. Yeah, some beautiful people all across this planet. So, and thank you for tuning in, my friend. Thank you all for tuning in. You were just proving to me one thing only, that you are wide awake. Because 3.5 years ago I said to the universe, when I cut my deal to stand in truth and only truth, regardless of how hard it was and how terrifying it had to be, that the universe only send me those that can handle it. And some, along the way, would fall off, inevitably. That's, if you read my essay choices, which I've got the book put together, so I'm just going to compile it somehow and just get it out, and you guys can do what you want with it. Anyway, that's I believe it's the first essay in it. You can sail too close to Scylla, Devil in the Deep Blue Sea, Scylla and Charybdis. Scylla was the multi-headed monster that would pick, crew members off the ship and damage the masts and rip the sails and all the rest of it. Jason and the Argonauts. And of course, Charybdis was the wide-mouthed creature that would open its mouth and create a whirlpool and suck the whole damn ship down. So you had a choice to make. If you couldn't get in the middle, if you couldn't find that perfect stream in the middle, that balance, you had a choice. Either, and most people unfortunately head towards Charybdis unknowingly, because I'll tell you, a lot of people are afraid of losing anything at all, so they'll inevitably steer too far away from Scylla, and they'll get caught up in the whirlpool and get sucked down. And there's that spiral thing, creation. Whereas I chose to steer a little bit closer to Scylla because I hadn't found my balance yet, and I'm still working on that. I've got a long way to go, and but I'm a whole lot closer now than I was when I wrote that essay, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so as fate would have it, I always, being slightly out of balance, standing in truth, I would always end up steering a little closer to Scylla than I liked, and it picked off some crew members, picked off the most important members of my crew, my family, and it damaged my ship a lot. It took me a long time, but I never pulled into port. I never pulled into port left, starboard right. I always kept sailing. As hard as it was, and as ripped as my sails were, and as destroyed as my mast might have been, my cabin ripped asunder and boarded by pirates, it didn't matter. I still managed to find a way to keep the ship afloat and to keep on sailing, and I knew I would fix my own ship en route and keep it rolling as best I possibly could, and try to stay in that center stream. It goes back to Cadeism, pick a fight, expect a fight. How about that? And another little Cadeism of late is, it's been around for a while, but again, it's trying to go back through things. I guess they call them clever little sayings that bring out truths. So here's another Truism or Cadeism, whatever the hell you guys call it. If you can't stand the heat, don't start the fire. Sorry, I go to cause on things. I don't worry about the effect, right? Get out of the fire. Well, if the fire's already lit, who started it? Oh, right, you. Well, best not stand there. If you can't stand the heat, don't even begin to start a fire, especially not with me. I got a flamethrower. I used to start all sorts of fires. Now I put them out with them. But, as fate would have it, I've watched my crew around me, and those most loyal to me, that I thought anyway, ended up getting picked off by Scylla at some point or other. And Scylla, of course, is that materialism and that stuck in the phi-psi-cul, or the physical, or the reduce, reuse, recycle, where they're still hanging on to something, and they can't let go, and inevitably that's what keeps people steering towards Charybdis. I can't let go of that. Oh God, I lost the whole ship. And we've done this lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and quite frankly, I'm just going to ask you, have you had enough yet? Are you getting a rush from this, or what? Is this your August rush? Or how about you get in that creative zone and just kind of, find your place, right? That's all I'm trying to do, is find my place and find my reason why. And as I touched on it last night, as coincidence would have it, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to the universe is actually 42. Because half of that is, of course, 21, which is 777, which is you, phi, or psi rather, or it is phi, phi, the 21st letter, which is God. Okay, so there's your, you got to cut it in half to see the full picture. But more importantly, it also gives you the clue that nature has given us all along. So if you're ready for the answer to the universe, I'm going to share it with you. And I'm hoping that this will resonate with you. I had lots of time out today driving around, and of course that's when I get into my download zone, and because I don't play music or anything. I did a little bit, and I thought, no, I've got downloading to do. It was very interesting though when I did. When I do think to turn the stereo on, I only have one album in there. It's Styx's Greatest Hits, and as it turns out, if you know the song Mr. Roboto, I turned up the volume at the part where it said "too much technology." And if you know the song, listen to it and start it there. And that's where I listened to it. It's like, oh, isn't that the truth? Too much technology has got us trapped. And look what it did to Atlantis. They started worshiping their technology, and their crutch eventually became their undoing. And that's one of the reasons why I steer away from technology altogether, because why the hell would you need a teleporter when you are one? We're going to get into some pretty deep shit tonight, so I hope you guys got your hip waders on. It's going to be fun. All right, so let's get back to where I was. Excuse me. Okay. Getting downloads. Yeah, I was just traveling along and, getting downloads and trying to work things out. So, and more, this whole answer to the universe thing came into view and into focus as I puttered along doing my little thing as I went to visit some friends, studio and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, yeah, and I brought it up last night, so I'm going to bring it up again tonight, and I've already had a little feedback on it, and I think some people are having oh my God moments. Oh my me. Yes, indeed, oh my me moments. And the way I saw it, and it came even clearer into visual. Let's say you and your sibling, one of your siblings or one of your friends, it doesn't matter if you're only child or if you've got 10 brothers and sisters. Let's just say you and one other are given a chocolate bar, and you have to split it. And let's say the individual, let's go extremes here, and the individual that you're supposed to share this chocolate bar with is not someone you particularly like. And you're handed the knife to cut it in half. And you're going to be able to be the first one to choose from that chocolate bar. And let's say you're cutting it in half, and the one that you're sharing it with is one you don't like. How fair do you think that half would be? And oxymoronic, do you think your half might be a little bigger than their third half? Whatever? Most assuredly it would, if you were allowed to get away with that. And this is what's been happening here. We've been letting the other side get away with cutting the chocolate bar in half and choosing their half. So what I've decided to do is say, no, you can cut it in half. I get to choose first. So I want to see how close you get. And I guarantee you can take a micrometer screw gauge to it to find out the difference, and there won't be any. Okay? So now here's the option. You have someone that you have to split it with that you don't like. It's your worst rival. But here's the rules. You get to cut the chocolate bar in half, and they get to choose first. Or vice versa. Okay? Do you see how the perspective changes? Do you see how the understanding starts to get a little bit deeper as you start to peel these layers off? Well, for me, everything is fractal, and I'll give you a chord example of it as well. Because, this thing has been glaring at me in the face, and it was so obvious I missed it to this clarity. But it's coming into view now. Because I decided to close my eyes even more and even harder and get even darker, where the wisdom, the true wisdom is. I'll explain to you what light is, the meaning of. You might be surprised. You know what I do, right? Mirror, mirror. There's that tranny dyke going in the mirror again. Go figure. It's been backwards for me, so that's how I look at it anyway. So here we are, the great ourself. Just you and me, as one consciousness. And of course we, at some point in the infinite aspect of everything, of course it's infinite, so there really is no beginning or no end. But when that consciousness sparked, and there was that realization of consciousness and awareness of being, just simply being, I can only imagine, as I think back, there had to be so much fear, so much terror of I'm here by myself. There's no one and nothing else but me. One consciousness, able to be all things and nothing at the same time. And then the first question I would have to ask in trying to understand that, and realizing that I was alone, there was nothing to be afraid of, I thought, oh, that's kind of silly. Why would I be in fear if there's nothing here but me to hurt me? And I wouldn't do that, would I? But then we had this other notion called why? The penultimate question of all, why? Why this existence? Why did we awaken? Why did we, the original spark of the all-spark, of which we are merely fragments thereof right now? Why? And that's a heavy one. That's a very heavy one to try to contemplate and try to understand. And what I'm going to try to do over the next little while is bring that into focus without all the drama of the phi psi call, without all the look over here, look over there, look everywhere but where you need to be looking game. Because they have you, don't they? They've got you staring at things, going, ooh, ah, bread circuses. Quick, get another gladiator. That one's dead. Oh, my goodness, you know. And they have us looking and looking and looking and looking and looking. And, oh, that's right. What happens to an atom when you observe it? Oh, it changes. So we can never know what is actually going on with an atom because we're always observing the damn things. Thus our creation around us. And it is ours. And I'm going to tell you why it's ours, but we seem to not have as much control in it as we'd like to. Well, one, we're not quite ready for that because when we, the one, the us, all of us listening and talking and all of us together, as that consciousness said, well, we must find out why in our own schizophrenic little way. And we are schizophrenic, and we're trying to understand that to bring it back into focus. Ask yourself, look how many different personalities there are. You're telling me consciousness isn't schizophrenic? It's actually schizophrenic that makes us fun, you know? We have all manner of creations in every genre, from the, you know, the most evil to the most beautiful. So here we decided we'll have a game. We're going to have a little game. It's going to be an easy one too. But here's the basic rules of the game. Because we never want to actually destroy ourselves. That would be silliness, absolute silliness. But if we're playing the game in God mode, how much fun can that be? Because we'll never have an opportunity to have any risk or any sense of loss or any sense of losing anything. And being all creation and of all things, you would never lose. So we had to throw some stakes into this game. I'm not talking the meat stick ones either. We had to throw the ante on the table. Okay, well, us, how about we, the one, the schizophrenic me, say, we'll tell you what, we'll play a game. We'll split in two, just like the first cell. Going back to 42, this will make sense to you. Put that in the mirror and you'll see it. 0, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, to infinity and beyond, said that cartoon character. Okay, so we get together and we go, how are we going to solve this? How are we going to be all creation and none of creation? And how are we going to get differing perspectives and complete opposites, yet somehow not be able to destroy ourselves in the process of learning about ourselves and trying to not be so schizophrenic? Well, the remedy was quite simple. We're going to cut our chocolate bar in half. And one of us is going to get to cut it, and the other one's going to get to choose. It's going to be perfect, right down the middle balance, 0 point. Absolute, in all respects, perfect balance, perfect zero, perfect middle point. So how do we accomplish this? Okay, well, here's the only thing that actually worked from both right side and left side of my brain, which is the transceiver, of course, downloading. So I had to go up, down, back and forth, and I said, oh, okay, well, this makes total sense. And it feels right. Not only do I think it's correct, it feels correct. Right brain, left brain, put them in balance. It feels good, and you think it is. Chances are you find a little truth there. So here's what I'm going to throw at you. And then we're going to open this up for a bit. I'm actually waiting for the call to go and move my car, so I'll probably toss a tune on. So as soon as that happens, it'll give you some time to contemplate and perhaps call in. Oh, and you're waiting for the answer, aren't you? I already gave it last night, but let me give it to you again tonight. Because it's a whole lot clearer for me today. And I want you to mull this over. I don't want you to believe a word I'm saying. I want you to go completely in the mirror to think it's absolutely wrong, because until you do that, you will never see its mirror. And that's been my life, looking at how to be wrong about everything. And somehow, in that process of killing the ego, it's a useful tool, and we've talked about this before, but actually utilizing it, bringing it into focus. As a tool, you know the saying, right? Cateism. Use a tool, don't be one. And certainly don't be ruled by it, which is the physical. Anything physical is the tool. And you will not find answers in the physical. Okay, Kate, get to it. Okay, here we go. I got your vibe. So we say to ourselves, okay, we'll tell you what, we'll split in two. Because we're all knowing, what would be the mirror of all knowing? Well, it would have to be all unknowing, wouldn't it? And of course, absolutes are unattainable. Those are infinite in all directions. So it would have to be infinitely unknowable at the same time as being infinitely knowable. Fair enough. Okay, we've got our grid. We've got our concept. But here's the thing: if I this half of me, the part of the twin flame, the Pollux or the caster, turns around and says, well, okay, if I choose to be all unknowing, then I will never be able to make my way back home. I will never have the tools to do so. And of course, you being all knowing would have all the knowing, and you wouldn't find out anything without me. You see, so it's going to be out of balance. So how do we balance this out? You and me and I, the Trinity of Self, the Himself, Herself, Itself. And we came up with this really clever plan. Okay, well, let's say you get to be the all-knowing, and I get to be the all-unknowing. And of course we are creation itself, infinitely to total creation and beyond, to total destruction and beyond. Has to be the mirror. Always has to be the mirror. So I'm thinking, well, if you're all-knowing and you have all the abilities of creation, excuse me, it still would make for a very fair game now, would it? Because you wouldn't get anywhere. There'd be no purpose to it. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Me. I'm going to split into two, and I'm going to make half of me, the other half of me, the all-knowing half. But you're not going to have any power to create anything at all. Nothing whatsoever. You are going to be at the complete mercy of me, the unknowing, to the infinite unknowable, as I move myself back up the scale with the absolute power of creation. So I won't know how to use that power of creation, because if I did, and I was less than all-knowing, chances are I could destroy me. So we have to balance this out. We have to take a full understanding and a full measure of the 50-50, the true split, our split personality. So the game is thus. You, the all-knowing, will have no power of creation, and I, the all-unknowing, will have absolute power of creation, but unable to wield it without some guidance. So you, the all-knowing, and you can be as good or as evil as you wish to play this game, will have to tell me, the unknowing, everything. And because I don't know anyway, it's going to take a long time for me to try to figure things out as I move up this scale in this particular realm. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to be a little bit at cause to you, and you're going to be a little bit at cause to me. So we're both going to be cause and effect equally, and we're going to try to find this balance somewhere in the middle, because it always has to come back to 0 point. Me, you, us, I. The all-in-one, the one and all. So we think to ourselves, good deal. All right, well, tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take those measures of good and evil, up and down, hot and cold, and all those opposites that we already know of right now while we're all still in the knowing. And we're going to break those into complete, absolute opposites. But we're going to have a scale, something we can go up and down, like, say, Jacob's ladder, for example. So we can go from the absolute infinite bottom to the absolute infinite top. And we'll always find ourselves somewhere on that scale. And at some point, we're going to have to get into the middle, because absolutes are unattainable, so that middle is going to move around. But it's going to be where we need it to be in order to keep ourselves a whole lot less schizophrenic, but at the same time, observing ourselves and trying to understand and fully come to terms with why. So here we go. You, the all-knowing, have no ability to create, but you have to tell me, the all-unknowing, with the power of creation, what I need to know in that understanding. And we're going to create the multiverse, which will only happen now, because past, present, and future are all but the same thing. It has to be this way, because time, linear time as we know it, is strictly an illusion. And time only exists so that that thing or those things that we create in these universes can persist. They're very low vibration, so we've got that much. We know that everything physical and material is of a lower vibration than our ability to create. Has to be. So we, of a slightly higher vibration, are passing through, quote, time, unquote, infinitely faster than material, that which we have created. It's vibrating slowly, so it has the illusion of persisting. And as we move through it, it seems to persist, but if you notice, things always seem to decay over time. And they will, because that's the way creation works. Nothing lasts. Nothing lasts. And what we've got caught up in, those of us in the unknowing team, and we are two teams, right? How often have you heard it said that the Illuminati knows that has all this information to this, that, and the other, and then some, right? And we are struggling to find that truth. But at the same time, that other half of ourself, that's why you can't get vengeful. You're only hurting yourself. So pay attention to the game and the rules, and you'll start to see it a little bit clearer, methinks. They're trying to tell us everything, and we're trying to experience ourselves. The all-knowing with no power is trying to use our power of creation to create something, and of course it has to be infinitely good and infinitely evil. Can't have a game otherwise. So in that process, those of us in the unknowing team are starting to know, and we're starting to understand. But we're not quite ready yet. We're still the 5-year-olds that, creation isn't quite ready to hand over a bucket of gasoline and a flamethrower to see what happens. Okay? Somebody might get hurt. So here's the thing. We are protecting ourselves and harming ourselves at the same time. Everything has to be equal and opposite at all points. There is no all things being the same, because they're not. All things being equal means all things being opposite, and all things being different. There's a little kidism I came up with many years ago during songwriting days, and it was one of this nature, and it never really made sense to me. It did, but it didn't. It kind of rang true, but I didn't know why. But I know why now. And here it is. When somebody asked me something, I remember answering this way, because it was the only way I could answer. And I said, well, it's exactly the same as that, only completely different. It was a perfect mirror. And that's what we are. We're dealing in a mirror, guys, a mirror of ourselves. Can we dare to turn it around for a change and have a look at ourselves and see the infinite beauty and the infinite loathingness of creation itself? We've all seen beautiful things in creation. We've all seen some pretty nasty things in creation. And we're very quick to judge. That's good. That's evil. That's up. That's down. That's called duality. And of course it's a duality realm, because we had to go into duality in order to understand ourselves, to answer that penultimate question, why? And of course, as I've said many times, you will never find an answer in the physical universe, ever. But you'll sure as hell find all the clues you need. Because you, as the unknowing, or the unknowable, still have all the knowing. It's just out of view. There's a veil. Because we could never destroy that. All we could do was hide it behind the veil, the wizard, standing behind the curtain. So I'm just trying to pull back your curtain so that you can see the wizard, you, within. So fundamentally, it's a fairly simple process. It's a very simple game with all sorts of pitfalls and highs and lows. And, I'll go back to Bill Hicks. It's just a ride. And how seriously are you taking it? And unfortunately, in this realm, some of the all-knowing who cannot create got caught up in it a little more than they probably should. And again, they're still ourself, and that's part of our schizophrenic consciousness that needs to be sorted out. That's why you cannot go at it with vengeance, because these are the questions and these are the things that we've been trying to answer of ourselves, so that we're not so lonely in a universe that we created. There is only us, after all. And if we have to spend infinity with ourselves, which we do, consciousness awoke, there's no going back now, boys and girls. So we might as well have a game of it. And we might as well learn, and we might as well start to understand ourselves a whole lot better, our schizophrenic nature. I think that's pretty fair. I think it's very balanced, and I think it has a much deeper understanding contained within it for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Show and tell, boys and girls. Show and tell. It was my favorite time of school. Got to bring in your cool creations and things that you got to show off to everybody, and it's like, oh, cool, look at my toy. Do you want to play with it? And, we learn to share and do all the right things. So here we are, all the unknowings, you, the awakened. That's who you are. You're the part of the consciousness that doesn't know. And you're the one that's reaching and screaming and trying to find that urge to see truth and to understand it. And you're fighting hell-bent for leather to get that, because you know at this point in the game that there's something more. And there's something worth reaching for, and you just don't know what yet. So I'm trying to share maybe a little bit of the what that might explain some of this turmoil and the madness of it. It's quite beautiful, actually. It's starkly beautiful and disgusting at the same time. And we can look at both sides of ourselves, the all-knowing and the all-unknowing, and we can see the crimes against humanity, which are the crimes against ourselves. And we can get all vengeful and think that we can get even by, destroying those that harm these. And what are we doing? We're running in that complete circle. We're constantly running in that complete circle. And I think it's time to break that. And hopefully as this resonates with some of you, you'll start to see things a little differently. It's my wish anyway. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm just telling you what I thought and felt worked at the same time. And that's all I do. I just think and feel things. Does it feel right? It's like a song. When you've written you think that it's a great tune and you feel that it is. And then there's other ones that you think, it's okay, and it feels okay, but it's not that little gem that you go, and I know the gems are the ones that you say to yourself, I don't believe I wrote that. That's my perspective on it anyway, as far as songwriting. That was, for me, it was a measure of looking at that. So, just a little food for thought. I just thought I wanted to, put that seed out there to see if it resonates with anyone. Mull it around, see how it feels first. Does it feel like it might be okay? It's not uncomfortable, and you can let go of the vengeance and start getting all unconditional on shit. In as much as there's unconditional love, there's unconditional hate. There has to be. You don't hear many people talking about unconditional hate now, do you? But it has to exist if unconditional love does. And the one thing above all, and there's only one thing that conquers unconditional hate. And that's unconditional love. And that's what we are. Because we do love ourselves. Of course we do. There's no one and nothing else to love. And going into this duality, we learn to hate ourselves. Because we had to start understanding why. In a way, there's got to be other ways too. But in this particular game that we're playing right now, it only makes sense to me that we're playing this particular game to try to understand the fundamental why. How many times have you asked yourself, why me? You'll throw in something religious like, why me, Lord? Oh my God. And shit like that, But the truth is, you've asked yourself that question, and you were asking the right one. Why me? And then I will answer you. Why not you? And we end up in this beautiful duality to have an observation of it. And the all-knowing kind of went a little schizoid on us. Saw a bigger game. And saw to ante up the stakes a little. Because the all-knowing already knows that the game is going to end perfectly anyway. So they're trying to be entertained. That's the other half of ourself, is trying to be entertained and keep this game going as long as possible. Because once this game's over, we got to think up another one. And that might take an infinity. But worst case scenario, I'll tell you, the DVD collection that we've got with each and every consciousness through each and every multiverse and each and every dimension, we'll never be bored again. We'll be watching reruns and go, oh, I love that episode of me. Oh, check out that episode of me. That was just nuts. That burning on that pile of wood thing, oh, that hurt. But yeah, oh, and look over there, that was me flying as a bird. And and I am at the depths of the ocean. I'm this beautiful, creepy-looking thing with a light that in front of me. What do they call those? Not archerfish. Anglerfish. They're at like 10,000 feet, and they've got pitch black, and they've got this light thing that of course, the lure. What better way to lure some prey than to put some light there? And they go, oh, that's neat. Let me go have a look at that chomp. what we're dealing with is a universal anglerfish here, boys and girls, and the little thing in the sky there called the Marduk Raw thing. Baal, Marduk, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. That dark aspect of our consciousness that looks remarkably like light is actually that which will destroy you. And if you'd like some proof, let's take off the ozone. Let's take off the ozone layer from the Earth and see how long we last with those microwaves going on. So that light of creation that we so worship in the summer and look at all the plants and everything else, without our protective layer, this would not exist. That's how powerful we are. We'll destroy ourselves in an instant if we let it. And this is why it had to be a very, very careful game. It had to be a very, very carefully thought out. We had an infinity to think it over. So we had to make sure it was foolproof. That there was always fail-safe. That no matter what happened at the end of the day, we'd always return to us, the one. And we could always say, whoa, that was close, eh? And we'll have a chuckle to ourselves about it. And then you'll say, oh, that was fun. Infinity is a long time, guys, in this moment of now. So we've had countless infinite games of this nature. And it only seems to be persisting right now because of the particular vibration you're in as part of that consciousness, and can you handle it? Here's the real one. Here's the big one. And that's kind of the whole thrust of tonight. Can you dare to look away? Can you dare not to be staring? Oh, thank you. That's really mature. Anyway, can you dare to not get caught in the illusion? Can you dare to not go, ooh, aliens, ooh, intergalactic travel inside this trap? That sounds like fun. Anyway, sorry about the noise in the background, guys. I think what I might do is play a tune and let you guys think a little bit on this. And I brought a really big hammer tonight, so I'm going to be driving some nails home. And I'm going to bring Carol into the call because she's got her hands up. Hands up, baby, hands up. So we'll get a quick hi from you while I... oh, it looks like he's all done hacking something to death. Okay, there we go. All right, Carol, how are you, hon?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying your rant. I ranted the other night on my call for almost 2 hours, and it seems like every May my phone family gets hit with some idiot or two. I've got 2 last year and 2 this year in May that have come in and created problems, and it's, you know, and then other extraneous things. This last week has been absolutely incredible. And, you know, with this type of frequency that's hitting us now with the solar flares and all this type of thing, and the astrology, the planets, the way they're lining up and all that kind of thing, there are going to be these times when people want to distance themselves from us or we from them. And it's a natural progression or evolvement.
I can tell you why. It's totally natural. And I can tell you exactly why every May.
Why?
Well, you see, you have the zodiac, so let's have a look at what the zodiac is. And this will probably help. Oh, there's my hawk. Looks like I'm on the money tonight. Well, in the beginning, it has to be I am. Aries, yeah. That's the first sign of the zodiac. Santa will tell you that. We all know that. The first sign of the zodiac, the first double positive, has to be Aries, which is the ram, in the head, heaven. So we had to be I am in heaven, yeah? So then what happened? What was the next sign? And I've already explained to you guys tonight what the next sign was, but I didn't tell you. And it's the only sign in the zodiac that actually divides itself equally into 2 pieces.
Fusion.
Well, no, what's the next sign after Aries?
Well, Taurus.
Yeah, tore us in 2. Of course it
Taurus.
is. Mm-hmm. And the motto of Taurus is I have, but you need to put the L in there to make sure that you get it right. That's the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Do you see where I'm going? When you cut something in half, you have 2 halves, yes?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I cut in 2. And it's the only sign in the zodiac that actually is a second sign to which is the only number that can be divisible by itself equally right out of the gate.
Oh, I don't know. We've got Gemini.
No. That's now we're hang on.
That could be divided in two, sweetheart.
Actually, it isn't. It divides into three.
Okay.
Okay. You see, because
I got you.
the I am of Aries is the dot of creation. Okay, which was kind of taken over by a thought. Huh? Just a coincidence. It sounds the same as thought. Isn't that interesting? I just had a thought. Well, it ain't mine. It belongs to thought. So I'm going to give it back. There you go, thought. Nice try, dipshit. Okay. So here I am, the hermetic, anti-hermetic. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Give me a chainsaw, I'll cut them all. Now we move into Taurus, which is a line. And it's in Santo's chart. It's all there if you can see it. And it cuts everything in half. It's the first time we split into two, and it's the only time we completely split into two equally. Right? You can split.
I don't want to interrupt you right now, but I just want to throw this in as an example for some people that are having a little bit of problem with cutting everything in two. And you said something a while ago that reminded me of something I've told our phone family. Well, I learned it a long time ago, but I'll share it with you. Life is like a pendulum. Our lives are like a pendulum on a grandfather clock. However it'll swing as far left into love or hate, it'll swing to the right, love or hate. So however intense you can love, you can hate that much too. And people don't understand that, and they feel all guilty and everything. Hey, folks, these are emotions that the Creator made for us.
You stop giving it away, Carol. I'm done with people giving it away now. You take responsibility, our Creator. I'm not letting an animal off the hook anymore.
Now wait a minute. I wanted to say something last night too when you got off on that one. When that beautiful lady from California comes in from Ventura area, the 805 number, I can't remember her name.
That's Colleen.
Colleen, thank you very much. She's a sweetheart. But she said something last night that really gave me some deep thought process, and I have to make peace with it. I agree with you. I'm in a state of evolvement. We all are. So everything that's new that's presented to us, we have to think it out and chew on it for a while. It's just like, how do you eat an elephant, one little bite at a time? So when she said something about the fact that and I'm not going to lay this trip on her because other people have said it too. It just kind of hit me last night, and then when you started talking about it, it gave me more pause for thought. But this fact of not calling out to God or thank you, God, or this kind of thing, I thought about that for a lot yesterday, and I'm sure that I'll change my thoughts. They do over years. We're not thinking today like we thought about 10 years ago or maybe even yesterday. So everybody needs to make peace with that we'll be changing our thoughts about things as we grow and mature and so forth. But there is a beginning. It's just like what came first, the chicken or the egg, okay? And so we finally come to the point where we had to have the chicken before we could have the egg and so forth like that. But then you have a situation where you have a man and a woman creating a child. They make love and they have an egg and a sperm and it comes together. But it was two before it became one. And so this business of not being able to thank God and considering that giving your power away, at this point, in my evolvement, I'm at odds with that because we have duality. We have white and black, and we have dark and light, and we have God and us.
I need to...
Now, wait a minute. Just let me finish a thought,
I wanted to tell you what God is, how it breaks down.
I've thought a lot. I'm 72 years old, honey. I've thought a lot about God. But hang on just a second.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, Carol. Carol?
Well, my thought... Hello, my thought was ruined. Hello?
Okay, your voice was all over the place there. Try that again.
Okay, am I back,
There
honey?
you are. There you are.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. Okay, this business of not giving your power away to God, to me, I have a spark of God within me. You have a spark of God within you. So we have something in common there. God is our Father or our Creator or our Supreme Being or whatever you want to call, or electric spark, whatever. I still thank God, and I will probably continue to do that for some time. If I evolve out of that, then I will. But I'm not ready to give up thanking God because I depend on God for the spark within me that makes me who I am and gives me life and breath. And to totally not acknowledge that, yes, I am part of God. I am a God. In the Bible, there's a lot of good things in the Bible. There's a lot of disinformation in there. But in the Bible it says, know ye not that ye are gods. Well, yeah, we do know that. We're learning that. That was squashed for many years. I mean, we were told we're born into sin and we have to repent all the time. No, we're finally learning that that's just not true. And they've done that to control us and make us feel guilty. Oh, and you've got to pay all this money to the church so we can build these cathedrals with gold and all this stuff.
I have a question. I have a question for you then. Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn the mirror on you here, hon.
Okay, that's good. We all get the mirror.
Yeah, let's get the mirror out. Okay, I'm gonna flash it back to you because you actually just negated your argument. In the form of, they taught us that this was this and this was that, and about guilt and all the rest of it. Absolutely, of course they did. So what part of guilt are you holding on to that doesn't allow you to say that you are creation itself? I
just said we are gods. But we are, listen, it took a man's sperm and a woman's egg to create us. There's three involved, right? The father, the mother, and the child, just like you've said. So why do you think, there's a song called No Man is an Island. And if you think we're out here all by ourselves doing our own thing, we are. Now listen, wait a minute. We've got to
have some fun after this.
Okay, all right, you do that with me. That's fine. Go ahead. Come after me, baby.
No, I love your perspective. You open it up. You're a beautiful contrast here. Keep going.
Yeah, contrast. Thanks a bunch. Okay, so you're admitting we have a duality. I'm a contrast, okay? So there's the light and the dark and the good and the bad and the cold and the hot. Okay, we live in a world of duality. There are going to be these things that are different from us. I used to have a saying, and I picked this saying up when I was a teenager. I don't know why, but I guess it was part of my life's path to do these things. As I sit here and look back on my life, all these things have gone into making me who I am today, and I'm picking up things that I experienced as a young person and even a child that didn't mean anything to me then, but it certainly does now. And I think as we all get older, we do that. We look back on our lives and we see things in better perspective. It's easier to look back. Hindsight is 20/20, if you will. But we are going to have duality until we get back to that God. In other words, we will be working and evolving all these many eons and eons and eons and going through all these dimensions, the third dimension, the fifth dimension, the 12th dimension, the whatever dimension. And someday, somehow, somewhere, we will come back to that essence of God, and we won't have to incarnate again anywhere. That's what I'm thinking now. Now, like I said, my thoughts may be different.
No, your thoughts are beautiful. I already see an evolution. I feel it. All right? And all I'm trying to do is agree with you. All I'm trying to do is show duality, so that people can see the duality and how it's supposed to work. Because when you start talking physical of a man and a woman getting together having a child, you're still in the physical. We need to get a little more ethereal on this one. That's why you can look at nature for only the clues as to creation itself, because creation in the physical is simply the mirror image in God's image. Now, I don't like using the word God because of what the sigils represent. Okay? When a word is created, until that spell is broken, which for me it is, so it's of no difference to me, but unfortunately people that still use that word that don't fully understand what it means are actually...
No, we don't. Right. We haven't had that training. What are the sigils that create the word Father?
What's that?
What are the sigils, honey, that create the word Father? Are they any more positive? Or?
Well, it's part of the scale. Do, re, mi, fa, okay, Theos, and Son of God in the mirror. Okay? It's, again, I urge people, don't worry about this aspect of it. All I'm trying to share and illustrate, you don't have to know the letter by letter where, you listen, this was my particular piece, mine only. There might be others that have parts of this. I know I've picked up stuff from a lot of people that had this perspective, and then I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Now, the reason why I won't use the term God, or I will, but I know what it means, and I'm mirroring it, okay? I'm not going dyslexic and saying dog, but isn't it interesting that the canine left mind sort of relates to that, which it is in the mirror. Effectively, I mean, the word God, if you break it down, some people have actually illustrated it quite well with, there he goes with his saw again. Anyway, when you mirror it, you have G, which of course is the main Masonic symbol, yes? So it's a very powerful sigil. What is it? Well, it's creation capped on one side. It's C with an arrow. It's stopped, and it's 90 degrees down. How do we do the capital G? All right, so it's actually creation stopped. And it's a very forceful stop. And it's also a very good stop, because we get a chance to play and have a look. I'm just trying to illustrate things for people to grasp. Now we go to O, which is creation itself. That is the dot of the Aries I am, or the completeness of the one, the O. That's why one has the letter O in it. And isn't it interesting that the E in reverse means both light and dark? I'm going to bring up a couple more concepts tonight. It was a good download today. Now, O is creation, which is trapped between the geometric, G, stop of creation, and then, of course, we move into the letter D, which is the fourth letter in both the Western and the Greek alphabet. So 4, if you have 4 sides, you create what? Oh, that's right, you create a box or a square. And in the Greek alphabet, D is called delta, which is a triangle, which is the true trinity of the himself, herself, itself, the father, mother, or mother, father, child concept. Not physical. Don't get physical on this. We've been staring at it and getting trapped. And the only thing I ever get from the physical are the clues. Like when a sperm hits an egg, it splits into 2. Isn't that interesting? So let's look at consciousness. The sperm is intention, and the egg is electrical, and the egg is magnetic, void of creation. And without intention, nothing will happen. And vice versa. It has to be in perfect balance. So no one is master over the other. And what's happened here in this realm is that divine feminine has been ripped away and has been turned into a literal whore. And everyone worships her. The wrong one. As far as my perspective is concerned in terms of getting back into balance. There's no right or wrong. Now, if you were part of the evil team, let's call it, we'll put labels on it just so it's clear. If you're part of the evil team, you would look at good in the same way as we look at evil. It has to be a mirror. There has to be a fundamental back and forth in order to find a...
There you go back to the pen... Then there you go back to the...
No, I'm going...
No, don't argue with me. I'm just saying...
I'm not arguing.
Okay, yeah, you were, but hang on just a minute. There you
no,
go
I
back
am,
to
because
the pendulum.
don't tell
It's
me I was
another
arguing.
example of the back and forth. It's the pendulum, and it's an easy an easy way for a lot of people to understand that back and forth movement, honey. Right. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and where did I disagree with you? How was I arguing with you? I'm just giving another perspective.
When I started mentioning the pendulum, you said no, and so
No, that was because I was in a flow. That's why I didn't want to jump in.
I know. I don't like to interrupt, but I just wanted to make that allegory for people. I think we need to be very mindful that there are people that might pick things up with other dimensional acknowledgement, if you will. Okay, back to you, sweetie.
And that's their responsibility. I'm not going to take responsibility for their creation or uncreation. I'm going to take responsibility for mine. Therefore, I take my responsibility of being an all-powerful creator that doesn't quite know how to do it yet. And if I was given that power, I'd probably make a dog's dinner of everything. So what I need to do is to get my unknowing pendulum back to center so that I can bring it back into balance. That's what we're doing, the unknowing. And I will say that to all of you listening, because you are of the unknowing side. If you're of the all-knowing, and there might be a couple sitting in, who knows?
Now, wait just a second here, honey. We need to straighten something out here. Just because you are who you are, you aren't superior to everybody listening to you, and you kind of give that impression. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That would be your tricky little bastard.
No, but that's yours, because you're thinking you know more than everybody else on this call. And that's not so. We all have a piece of the puzzle, honey, and you can learn from other people. You can learn from other people just as well as we can learn from you, baby.
Okay, Carol.
And that's something. Yeah,
Carol,
you give the impression that you're just a big teacher, and we're all a teacher.
Okay. There we go. I love you. And I would ask that you do not judge me, as I will not judge you. I have never said to you that you are of lesser mind than I. If you can go back through the thousands of hours of archives and ever find me saying that, I will eat those words, but I know I never have, because I never would. I'm here trying to, it's the way it goes, right? I'm trying to illustrate something. The door opened for people to come in here, hon. Okay? And the reason why I put you on hold is not because I don't love you. It's because I don't want to get into another pissing match like we've been getting into over the last few weeks. I'm done. I had it last night with Tony. I got tired of being belittled and berated for daring to share something that maybe you or everyone else listening cannot handle. If you can't handle the heat, get out of my fire. I'm trying to share in an unconditional way, and I'm tired of people putting conditions on it. Take what I say, use what you want, use what you don't. I don't care. I really don't, because I am unconditional in my love. If you tell someone that if you jump off that cliff, chances are you'll get really badly hurt or even possibly lose a meat stick, and you go ahead and do it, what can I do? And I won't do anything, because I can't do anything. It's not my nature. All right? And it's not about me being right. Quite frankly, I've spent most of my life trying to be wrong so I could find truth. And if there's any flaw in the 7 deadly sins, I take some pride in that. But it's a very humble, filled with humility pride. I don't mind getting red-faced. I don't mind being wrong. Okay, so I would please ask, be mindful in the judgments of me, because I am not sitting here judging anyone. And no, I don't know everything. If I did, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be sitting a few levels up, looking down and going, remember that? So please, I'm here with you. Do not separate me from you. That's what my wish is. If you wish to do it, then go ahead. We've got Ninja in here. I just opened your line again, Carol. So I just wanted to get that out before we went any further, because I had it with Tony last night, and trying to uplift him and be very patient, and I love him. If I didn't, I wouldn't have done the things I have done for him, and been the supportive, always there friend for him. To have someone come on the air all the time and tell me I don't know anything, that I don't understand this, that you, the listeners, don't understand what he's saying, and you need to do this and you need to do that. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. I'm not going to tell you look here, look there. I'm just going to share what I see, what I think. If you can handle it, great. If you can't, please stop judging me. I would ask that. I won't do that to you. I think those terms are fair. Ninja, Carol, you're both open. I just needed to get that out, Carol, before it went any further. That's all.
Yeah, hi, Kate.
Yay, how are ya?
Fine. Thank you, dear. Yeah. Hi, Carol. I just wanted to say in response to what you were saying, Carol, that I'm quite surprised at hearing those words from you, because I've been listening to Kate for, 3 months, maybe more. And I've heard her so many times say, I learn from all of you. When you call in, which is what she loves us to do, I learn from all of you. And I've also heard her say many, many times, don't believe me, go and feel it for yourself, figure it out for yourself. Does it resonate? How does that equate to feeling that you know more than everybody else and you're some big teacher kind of attitude? It doesn't to me, sorry. I'm muting out now.
Carol, your line's open, hon. And I got another one here, area code 719. We'll bring everybody in. You know what it's like on the open forums. There's no holes barred. Let's get at it, and let's sort this out so we can get out of this bloody rat race and mess that we're in. I think that's a pretty good idea. I don't know. I've had enough. Oh, Carol, you've been through the mill too, hon. Oh, hey, there you are. Who we got?
Hi, Kate. This is Mim from Colorado. I'm a friend of Carol's also.
Hey, how are you?
Just an absolutely incredible conversation that you're having tonight, because interestingly, it's a conversation that I had with my mother this morning, which just shocked the heck out of me to hear you start talking about this, about being in the not know. And, I get lost sometimes in the convoluted, when people get into a conflict, and I'm not good in conflict in that way, but what I have found in my own situation when things like this have come up it's a little word called you. And just as an example, I'm not saying that you said this and that's where Carol came in, because I can't go back to that moment and decipher what happened. But usually when that comes up for me in a situation or a circumstance where somebody feels that I am making them feel like I'm no better and I'm in kind of a sharing mode like you have been, is when I say, well, you know, when you, and I'm speaking in terms of anybody, you, like a generality.
I know, third party.
I've almost
come,
party. Yeah, I've come to a point anymore. Like if I'm going to share with somebody, I try to make a point to say to them, just, you know, so this doesn't happen. If I say you in this conversation, I want you to know I'm not meaning you. I'm talking about if anybody in a general.
Third party. That's what I do.
Yes, and so anyway, I just wanted to share that for anybody that might be listening. You know, that's probably where there was a misconception at some point, and I'm looking forward to the rest of whatever you have to share. It's been great, and you know, the part that I heard yesterday, I wish I'd had a notebook just taking notes, but I can't write fast enough to keep up with what's going on. But it's just kind of interesting because
the archives are there, eh? You can download all these episodes.
They're there. Yeah, I will get back in there at some point, but I just haven't made it, and I just, you know, I'm very pleased, I'm happy, and I'm contented to be where I am in this learning process of getting connected. And thank you, Carol, for letting us know about this call, and thanks for the sharing unconditionally with everybody, for everybody. And I add my openness of invitation to have anyone else open up and come in and add to the mix. Thank you, Kate.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful words. Excellent wisdom. Yeah, that was balanced.
Hey, Kate, I'm glad that lady mentioned the thing with the you word, because I have realized when she said that I often get mistaken in my intention when I use the you word, because I mean you as in everybody as well.
Yeah, well, I've said it before and on the air you can probably count hundreds, if not thousands of times. When I speak of you, I'm speaking third party. If I was talking to you directly, I would say I would give you the title that you would customarily be called by. And I
haven't learned to distinguish those two things yet. I speak in such a way that I don't do that yet properly. Okay, thanks.
and no worries, because here's the problem with being a host. Because when people say you to me, I know exactly they're not talking generally to everybody, talking to me. Fortunately, I get to be the pivot and the target. And I'm trying to disperse that as much as I can. And I feel my way through these things, and I can feel tensions building. And it's like, why are you taking this personally? Why? This is not just, I'm talking to thousands of people right now. Typically, right now, the way the shows are going, we're up over 20,000 people per episode of getting together. It's not about, oh, look what I can do. Screw that. It's the last place I want to be, front row center. I promise you that. And this is exactly why Universe put me front row center, because I don't want it. There's a lot of weight there, a lot of responsibility, and I've said that many times on the air. I'll say it again tonight, just for the record. I take a great deal of responsibility and come on the air every single night of the week, and it's a grind to do it, but I love doing this because I get to be with you, all of you. And I'm always mindful of that. And this is one of the reasons why I kept running into issues with, quote, fear porn, unquote. Because when I know that truth and information is going out, where it can harm others from my perspective, getting them caught in bad emotions and low frequencies, that which has trapped us down in this realm, it is a trap. Make no bones about it. All right? It's getting that vibration up. I've talked to the clocks, right? Getting everybody into a resonant, dominant frequency position. And if we focus on vibrating higher, then collectively we move higher. If we focus on fear porn, we move down collectively lower. And I used the example of Mel V and Tony and myself the other night, when we were talking about what could be, depending on how you look at it, it could be an absolutely devastatingly despairing, depression-filled, fear, evil thing. If we go there, here's the challenge. How do you think Alex Jones would have treated that same story? That's what I'm talking about in fear porn, because the energy is focused on all the negative things. Oh, the Illuminati or this and keep you fighting, keep you hating yourself. Okay? Or we can look at it from the victor perspective of the fact that here we have this tiny woman in her 50s having the guts and the courage and the power of victory because she said she had enough, and standing and letting everybody know. And if you don't think calling out the Mountbattens and Prince Bernhard and the rest of those guys that were doing this is not a dangerous thing, she's quite safe now because she called them on it. Think again. You've got people out there that won't walk around without some piece of ID in case one of the new Waffen SS Schutzstaffel called law enforcement in their black Nazi uniforms, Gestapo style, pull them over.
I'm looking forward to hopefully one day shaking that lady's hand.
Oh, I want to give her such a hug and go, way to go, girlfriend. Look at you taking the beast down by the horns.
Yeah. I think that would be quite an occasion.
Yeah.
She touched my heart that day. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's nothing but this beautiful flow of admiration I have going to her, and gratitude beyond gratitude being that strong. She found her cowardly lion.
I mean, I can't imagine what her day-to-day life is like since that, or even at any time before that.
I guarantee it's better now.
Well, I should sincerely hope so.
Well,
but in terms of her life and her village life and her practice and her family, I mean, who knows what the fallout has been. But nonetheless, she obviously didn't care, and she was ready to make a big change, and so all power to her for that.
Well, hey, in my small way, okay, I'll put me in comparison to Toos. My big concern and fear, I'd been through a little, nothing compared to her, but I had to come to terms with me. I was talking with Vicki today, and I said to her, the most terrifying thing that I have to confront every single day is being me. And that might sound so simplistic to everyone out there, but that is the only thing that holds me back, and every day I get to take one more step forward. I get to take that one more terrifying step forward out as me. The complete mirror of what everyone thought, where I'm putting myself out for judgment. Can I handle it?
It doesn't seem to be slow in coming either, does it, sometimes?
No, it doesn't. And it's okay, And listen, like what Carol's been talking about, we're talking at different levels of the game, not me being this and that. We're all at different levels, and I've said this before. Some of us are, kindergarten, and this is not a make less of. This is just perspective, to see which rung of Jacob's ladder you're on. If you don't know where you are, how the hell do you know where you're going to go? And this is what we're doing, is we're finding where we are. Where are we? How can we take responsibility in where we are so that we can move forward from here? Or are we going to just keep maintaining this downward, step-by-step rung of allowing ourselves to be robbed of our creation ability and remain dumb about it? I just chose to say, no, I'm good at this point. I've hit as low as I'd like to go, and I'm going to start climbing back up. I'm climbing back to the out light, the one light. And religion has taught us so very, very well to, feel guilt. I mean, that's the old joke about Catholics, right? Hey, listen, I worked in Catholic school system for 11 years. You want to see guilt? I saw lots of it, especially on the face of the priests. Yeah, that's the problem with being an empath. You walk by these people and you know what they are. And you really can't say much. You just look at them and go, oh, I know what you are. And you're not, you're doing something I wouldn't do. And I'll tell you, they felt my energy too. I didn't have to say anything. I just had to be in their aura, and they back away very quickly. It's amazing what your light can do once you start shining it from in. Once you start having that intuitive knowingness, and it's been a progressive thing with me. I still got a long way to go. And I'm sure you guys have heard me say that. I've never at once said, look at me, I'm here, I'm it. Come on over and be Kate. No, quite the opposite. No, I need you to be you. I need you, and that's my need. That's not an order. That's my need. What I need from you is for you to be you. You decide whatever you want. So let's not split hairs on the words here. You see, I speak mostly in prose, and when I say something, I mean it exactly the way I say it. And it's not up to me to, go through the dictionaries again with everyone and go, well, this is what this word means, and this is my intention. If you cannot feel my intention, then you're missing what I'm saying, because you're only hearing it, you're not feeling it. So you're only using one side of your brain, and as soon as the one side of the brain gets used, and you know which side that is, it has to be the analytical left ego. I need you using the right side as well, which is heart. You see, your right is connected directly to you, your heart. The very center of the universe, the being Theo, God, you. And I use the term again in the mirror, the term God, gold, oil, drugs. That's why they have it on the money, boys and girls. In God we trust. And, yeah, absolutely. What else would they trust in? Again, when you're stuck in this physical realm, and it's so very difficult for me, day after day, to convey that you're more than a meat stick perspective. And I'm not making less of the body. Yes, we're in these vessels walking around, but you are not the vessel. And the more focus you pay to the vessel, the less of creator nature you are, because you are trapped in the illusion. And I was talking to Lisa earlier before the show tonight, and I'd say, who would know freedom more than someone that's been in prison their entire lifetime, having been forced to walk in something that is exactly the opposite of their nature and exactly the opposite of what they are? Who better to understand that freedom and that absolute desire to break free of it? And my perspective has been one of being, my perspective, I'm speaking of Kate here, my perspective, I was born in a prison. And I've known this my whole life, since the day I got here. And I remember that day very clearly. I remember kind of feeling, oh, okay, well, here we go. And let's see where this one goes. Because I didn't know. I'm the unknown, right? I came here with a cup of forgetfulness, which is what we decided to have at the very beginning of this particular episode that we're playing. And we'll play another, and we'll play another, and play another. Infinity is a long time, and we got lots of imagination. We are infinite creation, after all, with infinite intention. All we did was separate the creation and the intention. That's it. That is the true divine dead and cursed. Divide and conquer. And we did it to ourselves. So I'll remember that. That one was a real big pill to swallow. And to use Carol's analogy, I'm a vegetarian, so I'll use a watermelon instead. There's no way I can shove a watermelon in my mouth. Not a chance. But I can finish that watermelon, which would probably be a lot easier than an elephant. You'd be able to finish that meal, I think. The watermelon. So I like using that just because it's, vegetarian thing. But I'm making light, Carol. It's a great analogy, though. Yeah, I'm not trying to ram an elephant down anybody's throat here. But I am offering a very large truth pill that's going to need to be chipped away at a little bit at a time. And there's things within our egos and within our construct that we are part of in this game that we have to take, and I'm saying for me, I have to take full responsibility for my part in both sides of it. Fully. And I've just decided a very long time ago. See that word, decided? I decided to not pick one side or the other. I am decided, not presided, like a judge. Oh, and there's your analogy, by the way, another one of the all-knowing with no power and the all-unknowing with ultimate power. Perfect balance. Let's look at a courtroom. You take a first glance at the courtroom, you ask anybody that doesn't have a clue what's going on there, and you ask them, who's the most powerful being in the court? Who are they going to say? They're going to say, oh, it's the one with the robes, and they're up high there, and the guy, girl, whoever the case may be, whatever, and it's a judge, your honor, and oh my God, your worship. Are you shitting me? Your worship? Like, Are you paying attention to the words here, guys? Who are you worshiping when you say you worship? What you're doing is you're worshiping the weakest link in their chain. Because with the conveyance of all this power that they're supposed to be wielding, they have none. They look to be the all-powerful, but they have no power. And I'll tell you who the all-powerful in the court is. Because they're the ones that don't know it. They haven't got a clue, most of them, if not all, that of the true nature of their power. What they're doing is, it's the clerk, the lowest of the court rank. Because they're the ones that inevitably take the skin, the money, the living life force that was stolen and created to a bond through the register, the ruling of your divine feminine creation. So you might understand now a bit more spiritually as to why they went after that. Because that's what they need. The all-knowing needs the power of creation. And here we are creating our own prism. Was it us that created HAARP? Of course it was. Was it us that created the atomic bomb? Of course it was. Was it us that created the chemtrails? Absolutely. Geoengineering. Was it us that mined the gold and silver veins out of our mother's consciousness? Yeah, absolutely it was. Is it us that are polluting the rivers and just, you know, and if you don't think you are, how about have a look in your kitchen and tell me if you have a plastic bottle lying around that's going to end up in one of the 7 gears on this planet in terms of 700 million tons on average per year of plastic. So don't tell me you're not polluting this planet. None, and I mean none, have absolution in this. All have taken part in the sin, the original sin or otherwise. We have been the masters of our own destruction and creation. It is a matter of us taking back the responsibility of it. And are you strong enough? Are you powerful enough to do that? Or are you in fear? Are you worried about, you know, paying your taxes? And are you worried about, oh my goodness, I better have a driver's license, or if I don't have it, I'll get in trouble by some feigned, you know, jarhead with a gun. I already told you that's an easy solve. You just carry a birth certificate, and that's all you carry. And that's the only thing you ever got from their government. So this is all I ever got. I don't have any contracts. This is an offer. That's what they gave me. I didn't accept it, but here you go. There's your offer back. They can't touch it, because if they do, they're creating fraud. And also, here's the ace. If they do, they're giving back your divine feminine. And they won't do that. Not willingly. But, you know, bitches like me go and grab it, because I know what it is. And I make my claim in this universe as part of it and all of it at the same time. By saying, no, I'm good. I am electromagnetic. I am male, female, masculine, feminine, hot, cold, up, down, light, dark. Here's a question I'll put this one out to the floor. Here's a question for all of you. And please, if you want to get into the call, all you have to do is hit 1 on your dial pad, or on Skype, just open up the keypad by hitting the plus sign and hitting 1, and I'll know that you want in the call here. But here's the challenge to you. Can any of you tell me all about the evil of light and all about the good of dark? You have been taught the other way, I'm sure. Everyone's taught. I mean, look around you. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it stunning? Light is good. Because if without light, we'd probably bang into a table somewhere. But I'll guarantee you, a blind person doesn't need light. They just feel their way through things, don't they? And can you imagine that most hideous of curses in a light world being an absolute blessing? I can. Because what do they see? Only that which they create. They've never been blinded by the light. They've never been blinded by the illusion, inasmuch as someone who is deaf has never been poisoned with the wrong words, has never had that pain of someone looking at them square in the eyes and being able to hear that frequency of I hate you. Oh, they can see a signal of it, and they get the intent for sure, no question. But it's just not quite the same. That would be my understanding. So what is the curse and what is the blessing? Can you see good and evil in everything? can you dare to look at the light and say, and this is my question to you, because I need to learn, can you see the evil in light? And can you see the beautiful glory and good in dark? There it is. Do you guys want to hear a song? We got about 36 minutes before we go off air. We'll roll into the recording as usual because I've got a lot to share tonight. My heart is big time, and I really want to throw it out there. And you can stomp on it or you can accept it. I don't care either way. It's entirely up to you.
Yes, please.
Anybody else? Do we have anyone second that emotion? Anybody? Okay, well, I'll second the motion. Oh, I just clicked in. Who? Anybody? Okay, I thought I heard a click. Okay. How would you guys like to hear a brand new song? Not so brand new to me. It's kind of old, but I got a couple for you. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my heart. Okay? And I know why I wrote this song. I knew the motivation behind it. Oh, actually, I can only play the one because the other one's still processing. This one I got up in time. So I got one tonight, and I'll share a brand new one with you tomorrow night. It's one of a different mood, but this one here, I think I wrote it about 6, 7 years ago, something like that. I'll have to check my notes because I don't have them. They're all in storage. But memory serves, 6, 7 years ago during the cafe, this idea hit me. And this is me talking to you and you talking to me. The song is called Rescue. Imagine that.
All right.
Enjoy.
Okay, Rescue. Here we go. I think if we get people emailing in, they can decide whether this song makes the album or not. All right.
Take my hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away, it's just a word away. I've watched you try, I've seen you spread your wings to fly, without a place to land, not so much as one horizon, but you push on through every wall that still surrounds you. Set down your stubborn pride, it's a friendship I can't hide, so take my hand. Rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away. It's just a word away. You think that I don't hear you when you say you'll find that's true. It's what you cannot say, it's your eyes that give away. I know when my friend's hurting, that's why I'll share the burden. I've been where you are right now, I'm still there, still learning how. So take my hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away. It's just a word away. Take my hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am,
An island in your stormy waters, and rescue is just a word away. I said rescue is just a word away. Hey, it's just a word away.
Yeah, that was from a live show, actually. Live on the air. I used to do shows every so often with the FM station I was on. That's how I got introduced to the station before I decided to go all conspiracy radio and get my ass handed to me. It's beautiful. Anyway, so rescue. Buddy? Love to hear your feedback.
Kate, that was absolutely beautiful. It spoke volumes to me, especially with the things that have changed recently. So thank you so much for sharing that.
A little bit of my heart. This is. I'm just trying to get back to my heart. That's all. So if I seem a little impassioned some nights, that's why. That's all. I get ripped away from this to do this, and I so desperately want to get back. I want back to the purpose of why I was doing that in the beginning. It was all because of love. That's all. And if things can reach into you, you can dig deep. And I mean so deep. Let's go back to, dig deep with Mother's love. Prometheus bled, right? When you dig deep with Mother's love, you find it. You really do. And I forget who I was talking to. Might have been you, actually, Ninja. I was talking about, we got talking about music a little bit. And where these things come from. I absolutely lost my train of thought there. I just went off somewhere.
Well, while you gather your train of thought back again, for the benefit of the people who are in the chat room who are commenting, can I please just say on air what some of those comments are for your song? People are sending love hearts and kisses, and they're saying what a great song it was, and it was heartfelt and heartwarming. So, lots of love and appreciation being shown there.
And all I can say to that is, all I am is your mirror. Look at you, looking at yourself finally. You see, this is the hardest thing that I will not say never. This is the hardest thing for me to endure, to get you to see you as I see you. I have no words. Colleen, I have no words, not anymore.
Hello.
Well, your music
Hello,
is your
everyone.
word. Yeah. Hello, I'm going to mute out now.
Hello.
Oh, no problem, Mitch. Hey, Colleen, how are you?
I'm very well. A beautiful, beautiful song, and it's just, of course, synchronicity of what I was thinking. But first, if it's okay for me to just say a word of what Carol had said earlier.
I can't be more grateful for what Carol brings. I can't, because she brings such
Yes.
a beautiful window for others to look through with me. You can't do this on one side or the other. We do it together. Okay, sorry.
Yes, we do it together. Yes, and that's what my thought was, Kate. Beautiful what Carol brought in, because we need people to bring in things like that to, shake it up a little bit, to shake up our thinking. And, she had said about that she really needs still to thank God. And that's beautiful. Everyone is where they are. And it's not that I don't give thanks, because I'm pretty much in a state of gratitude pretty much most of the time. The beauty around me, it's, there's no words for it, and the bliss. And that isn't to say that I don't have, the challenges in my life. I mean, I have a teenage Gemini daughter, so I don't need to say too much more about that. But
uh-oh.
But yes, Carol. No, it's all beautiful, and thank you so much. And I also, Kate, I was thinking, I had mentioned about the guru last night, and again, it's a really pure teacher, a really pure guru, teaches what he or she has learned and shares it, and doesn't expect you to be the same as them, but maybe we could glean a gem from something that is said. And then that pure guru or that pure teacher lets you go. In fact, they push you out because you need to go out on your own. And like your song about rescue, my thought was, please don't think that Kate is your savior or that's going to rescue, because we are our own saviors. We are the ones that will rescue ourselves, and we are that divine spark of everything. And I don't call it God. I call it. In fact, there is no word for it for me. What has come to me over the years, it's everything, and it's absolutely nothing. It's that dark, luscious, beautiful, dark space. And then it also...
I was just going to say that place, it is a perfect tapestry, or canvas rather, for you to take your own light and paint upon it, instead of having others paint it for you.
Beautiful.
And listen to the words again. Rescue. I didn't say I'm just a word away. It's just a word away.
Yes.
You have to call on yourself. That's why I gave the song to you and to all. And that was the intent behind the song when I originally wrote it. And watching other people, it was written for another individual who was having issues with a relationship, and I picked up on the energy of it. I thought, because this individual was being very hard on themselves, and I'm thinking, no, you don't need to do that. From my perspective, I think, and really at that point, the only one that could rescue her was herself. And that was the gleam that came out of that. It just dropped it. And that was another, as fast as I could write and play, it came out. And those for me are the pearls that the universe gifted me with. So I just share these because they're yours. A gift is useless until you give it away. So truly the gift, and people say, oh, Kate, you're so gifted. No, I get gifts so that I may give. They're yours. Do you not understand? I'm just a conduit. I'm just a connection, baby. I'm like Doc in the Seven Dwarfs, just a connection, right? So, and I really don't want anyone to take me so seriously. And I think if there's anything, these guys must be May 2-4 weekend, celebrating the birthday of Queen Victoria, their slave master. Love it. Anyway, nothing funny than hearing fireworks on the May 2-4 weekend down on the reservation. That just, I just shook my head. Really, you're celebrating your slave master? Huh, isn't that interesting? Anyway, and that's an early epiphany. So I just thought it was kind of funny and, in a beautiful dichotomy sort of way. I thought, well, it's beautiful, the fireworks and everything else, but never stop and think why you're doing it. Or it's because you like making noise. Anyway, so I go to purpose. And I really want Carol to chime in here.
I just wanted to say one more thing, Kate.
Oh, sure, please.
Is that when we hear like you singing and that beautiful music, and it touches our hearts so deeply, we so much of the time connect to the person, and it's the same with the teacher, or even like when you go take a yoga class and you just have this breakthrough and you're just like emotionally cleansed, in that class, and you equate it to the person in front of you, that teacher, and in fact, what we're doing is just connecting into that deep, incredible, beautiful heart of our own. And we're reflections of each other, and to share that beauty and that love, but it's really within us.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things when Ninja was saying about people posting things. Look what you are posting to yourself.
Yes.
Look at your mirror. Can you not say you love yourself? Can you not? You're doing it. I'm just trying to take that mirror and reflect it back. And until we have these wonderful contrasts, I just don't think I'm getting, I can't even call it out of line. I don't know what I want to call it. But when they're just not feeling right, and again, everything gets right to me because I'm wide open. And one of the things about the songs I write, if you want to know who I am, and I used to say this in my bio, is that I don't talk much. I let my songs talk for me, because you're never going to get any closer to my heart than that. Because you're getting the rawest, purest form of me in my absolute moment of meditation, song catching. I've caught something from the universe that's yours. I'm just trying to give it back. Without obligation. That's what a gift is it not? Without consideration. Here it's yours. Please. Can we not share? Can we not accept the gifts of each other? This is why I have such an abhorrence for so many things in this dichotomy of a nightmare we're caught in. And it's the very things that we're caught in that are keeping us trapped. And I'm just trying to give people a slightly different perspective from my puzzle piece, because I'm only one of the all. And again, all of the one. And here's the magic of you. Let me share you the magic, the wizard that you are. This whole game, this whole construct that's around you right now is all about you, if you can see it. Can you accept full responsibility for this creation is all for me? Because it is. That's why you have coincidences, and why I have them. And isn't it wonderful how the thread of our universe, of ourself, how it intertwines, where everything just works fractally, perfectly, every single time, regardless of what situation we find ourselves in. And I've been in some, and I know many of the people that are with us tonight have went through, from their perspective, a living hell. It was theirs, and no one else can ever experience that except them. That's why it's all about you. And I'm not talking from an ego perspective. It's all about you, isn't it? No. This is where I generally get into a little bit of a quagmire with people. No. It's that beautiful creation of all of us together, intertwining our different instruments, our different puzzle pieces. And what we're doing now is finally getting that at the table and going, oh, hey, I've got this piece. Let's see if it fits there. Oh, it fits. So you stand back and start seeing the picture unfold before you with all the other beautiful pieces of the puzzle that start coming there and go, oh, I didn't see that before. And, when I first set up the Songwriter Cafe, I'd been down playing at the Bird in Nashville, and I thought, what a great idea. I'll bring this home, this one concept of, sharing a stage and making it worthwhile. But I wanted to make it a little bit different. I wanted to make it theirs. I didn't want to make it somebody else's. I wanted to make it your stage. And that was the premise behind it. And where people could come and just be. And we only had a couple of rules. They were quite simple. It's got to be original. It's got to be yours, or at least co-write. You had to have something to do with the creation. And you couldn't do karaoke. And I don't care if you brought another player in to play for you. But it had to be done in the now, physically, as a creation of creation. And there was a little unwritten rule. Keep it 5 minutes. You're going to bore people otherwise, right? Because some people have a tendency of going into 6-7 minute songs, and you kind of go, Plus, we had a lot of people that signed up every night. We wanted to make sure everyone got on the stage. Because in the Bluebird, they have one of the rules of any of the open nights that you go in and you get a number, basically, and they call them out. And sometimes you didn't make it that night. But when you had that number, you could come back the next night or whatever, and you would be first on the block. That's kind of how it worked, which I thought was kind of cool. But we always had to work it out that everyone, every single night, got a chance to play. I didn't want anyone going home disappointed, thinking that they had to come back with a little piece of paper saying it's my turn now, because that creates, anxiety. And we didn't want that. That was and the Songwriter Cafe. That was Sue and my creation. Same with the Songbird Cafe in Guelph, the main Performing Arts Center. So I mean, for me, it's just been taking the same concepts that I've always lived with and always been part of, and bringing them to this table now, where everyone is equally important. And I don't care if you're a brand new songwriter and you got wobbly knees and you're shaking like a leaf on stage, and you're not quite sure of your music, and you don't think you're quite good enough, and all the rest. I don't care. You get your ass on that stage, and I want to see you. I want to see what you're made of. And I got to tell you, some of the most astonishing moments I ever had were from some of the most terrified people. And to see them come off that stage after playing 3 songs, that's what we did, 3 songs each, and did it in a 3-person go-around, so we'd take, rotate it through, and then we'd change up to 3 people. To see them come off the stage and this beautiful, first-time performers. We had so many first-time performers in their lives, I lost count. But they come off the stage and they have this Cheshire grin, as wide as the Mississippi. And I'd look at them and I'd say, it wasn't so tough, was it? Well, you know what, the first song, I said, yeah, it scared the shit out of you, didn't it? I said, I was there once. I know what it feels like. It's a rush, eh? And then he said, how do you feel with your second song? I said, yeah, I started to feel, a little better. And how did you feel if you're on the third song? And it was always the same, never a difference, always the same. You hated getting to your last song, didn't you? And they went, yeah. Because you knew after the song you wouldn't be able to play another one until tomorrow night. But you got to play your 3, yeah? And everyone had the same feeling. It's like, oh, man, it's over. It just began and then it's over. And that's what we're in right now. We're in that just beginning and just ending thing. So, and I just try to bring that to the table. I don't come here with any judgment. Oh, I can be an ordinary bitch some nights, but that's because I don't want to deal with that stuff that gets painted on us. I can see smeared canvases, and I can see someone else putting ideas on top, and we've been so inundated and so literally covered in paint for our entire lives. And I'm just standing here with a sandblaster, getting rid of all that, because I know what's under it. I see the beautiful songwriter in you. And it's just a matter of stepping forward and maybe not being quite sure of the first song, but I guarantee you by the time you get to the third, you'll never want to leave that stage again. And that's the feeling I'm after. That's when I know I can share what I've been through with you. I think that's pretty cool. Pretty tacky, but it's cool, eh?
That's beautiful.
But, we do this together.
It's real.
It is, it's real. Carol's real, you're real, Ninja's real, everyone's real. And I know that based on comments, I know that on the emails I get, and I know that through the Facebook posts and what have you. I know that, Skype, everything. And I get to see it more and more every day. And it's like, okay, so I'm a little bit selfish. I'm feeling greedy. I want to see more of it. So I'm going to be a little bit pushier about it. At the end of the day, you're going to go, oh, that felt so good. And, yeah, dare to be you. I spent a lifetime trying, and I'm finally getting there. And I'm getting a little hungry for it every day. Yeah, I stand out a bit in the crowd. I'm not normal. And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's the fear that I have to deal with. And I'm working on it. The fact that I know that is progress. And I know my limitations. And I know I have to push through. I know my walls. They still surround me. I'm just trying to be an island in a storm. And push through those walls. Where you to rescue you. I'm just hanging around, throwing out life preservers, thinking, hey, there you go. If they grab it, they rescue themselves. It's awesome. And if someone did it for me, I'm just trying to return the favor. That's all. I was so appreciative. I still am. My gratitude knows no bounds. For people like Carol and Tony, everybody. You all matter.
And you matter too, sweetheart. Don't ever forget it.
I know that. I feel that. I know that, hon.
And you know, we're all on your page. That's the thing I don't know if you understand. We're all with
Absolutely.
you. We're all standing arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, and I think people understand a lot more than what they think they know or whatever. And I just want to let you know I love you dearly. And I love listening to you, sweetheart.
Right back at you, mirror, mirror.
And your music is magical. And Colleen, I love you, honey. And I was so glad you brought that up last night, because I've dealt with that too. You know, wondering and praying and things like that. And I'm in a place of evolvement, as you surely should know by what I've said. And we all are. And
wasn't that ironic?
You know,
hey, Carol, wasn't that ironic that in the song, did you hear the line in the song about learning? I'm still learning too.
You know, I learned that a long time ago. My mother was a Scorpio and an Indigo, and but she had to be right. You know, when she was married to my father, she embarrassed him all the time, you know, because she was always correcting him and making him try to do things her way. And when I was growing up in her household, if you didn't do it the way she wanted it done, it wasn't done right.
That's Scorpio, baby. That's Scorpio,
yeah,
baby.
and I work real hard to get out of that too. And when I was raising my kids, I went through the evolvement of religious philosophy, and my mother did the same thing to me. She would change her philosophy as she aged and so forth and went through life. And as she made these changes, she expected everybody else to be the same and make those changes. Well, we don't all open up and learn everything at the same time. And, you know, in my older years now, I look back and see what I did to my kids. I followed my mother's path to some degree, but I changed a lot of things, because when my kids would come to me with a problem, I'd say, okay, well, let's take a look at this. Here's one way you can handle it. Here's another way. Here's another way. And maybe the way you want to handle it is totally different than what I've just shared. And you do the best thing for you that you can think of. And that's the right way to go. But now I'm finding out, too, that, you know, what's right for me is not right for everybody else at the time. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when, you know, I always try to let everybody know they're all right where they are. When God, or okay, you don't like the word God, when whatever that created us helps us to.
It's not the.
I love you. It's not that at all.
I'll speak for myself. Yeah, it's not. I don't
well,
like it.
See, I don't know etymology like you do, Kate and Colleen. So I, you know, until you explain the etymology of the God, well, then that makes sense to me. But I need to learn as I'm going along. You know, I mean, I need to know a lot more before I make a decision to change my thought pattern. And so you gave it to me tonight, and I really do appreciate that. But the thing
Hawks
is,
are agreeing with you, Carol.
Yeah, and the thing is,
hear them crying.
Oh, bless their hearts. I love them. But the thing is, when we put information out there, we can put it out there and let it be. And whomever can make peace with it or wants to take it off that smorgasbord table and put it on their plate to eat it, that's what they bring on. And I try to tell my people, look, you're going to hear a lot of things on my calls that you don't agree with, because we've got people coming out of the Christian box. We've got people like Kate and Cynthia and you, Colleen, and everybody that it has evolved so far into the higher dimensions, and you're leading us, you know, you're showing us by example, but maybe some people aren't ready for it yet. And so I make people understand, hey, it's okay. Just, you know, if you don't like anything you hear on our calls, then don't come on the calls if that's more at peace with you. But if there's any little thing that we can give you that will help you, you know, then it's there for you. It's free. Take it and make it your own. But if it, you know, and that's where I am at in my evolvement right now. I don't care if, you know, I don't have to be right, and that's, I think, the same feeling of everybody on this call. We don't have to be right. We're putting it out there for everybody, and take what you want that makes your fulfillment better and go on, you know, and be at peace. That's the thing. We all need to be at peace and into a space of love. Love conquers all, everybody. And there's, you know, here, let me just give you this analogy that I've shared with my family. Let's just say that we're all in Los Angeles on the west coast of the United States, okay, and where we're headed is love, and love is in New York City, 3,000 miles away. Now, I'm going to take Highway 10 down below, and I'm going to go across the United States on that lower belt, and there's so many things I want to see. There's Route 66, and there's all these things, and I'm going to stop, and I'm going to taste everything along the way. I'm going to experience all this stuff. And then we have somebody else that's on I-40, and they're going along, and there's not too many distractions there, so they're going to stop along the way a little bit, and they'll get there a little before me. And then there's people that'll take I-80, and that'll go clear across, and they're just going like gangbusters, and they're going to get to Love. They're going to get to New York way before I do. And that's kind of where all of us are at. We're all on different paths at different times. We're all going to get there, but maybe at a different time. And so we can't, here's another little quip that might help people a little bit. You've all heard it. Viva la différence. We all have differences, and if we can learn to appreciate those differences rather than fight about them, that's where we need to be. And I don't know, there isn't a whole lot I can offer over and above what Kate says, because Kate is so far above me, and I'm just trying to bring it down into a place where people in the lower dimension like myself can maybe understand it a little bit, because you give it so etherically.
I don't ever consider that. I consider all.
Oh, honey, but it's the truth. All we have to do is listen to you, and you are so elevated in your intellect and your knowledge about so many things, your music. That is where your big thrust needs to be, because that really touches all of our hearts. Your words that you have put together. You are a word meister from the get-go, and your music touches the hearts like no music. I used to listen to certain musics, and I have my favorites, but every single song that you play for us on this call is absolutely an arrow right into the heart. You've got a gift, my dear.
I have a request. I'm going to request this of everyone. Help me get home.
We're trying, honey. We're trying.
That's all.
And we love you very, very much, or we wouldn't be here every night, sweetheart.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, it's like when I do this, I always consider myself a student. Always, never a teacher, because I'll tell you why. Because when I put things out there, I'm looking for resonance to see if what's coming to me, downloading and all the rest of it. I want to put it out there so that I get feedback on it. That's what frequencies are, feedback loops. What I want to get is feedback on that frequency to see if it matches the wave, and I get confirmation or different direction from things that people share with me as it comes in. And I'm looking at it as purely as I possibly can, because with me, words jump off the page with intention. I can feel the intention in a word. I know exactly what people. How many times have you written something in a chat room and then somebody took you all wrong, right?
Almost every time.
Right. With me.
And don't ever give an interview to a damn news reporter, because they'll screw it up every time.
Right.
I'm sorry, Kate. Could you mute me out? I need to get off for a few minutes.
Okay,
and I don't want it to make noise.
Oh, that's okay, hon. I'll mute you out, and then
okay.
5-10 minutes and bring you back in, kind of thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
and I just wanted to put a shout out to Tony. I love you, Tony, and I miss your voice.
I love him too. He doesn't think so, but I do.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We love you, Tony. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Colleen.
I'll be back in 10. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Be happy, honey.
Thank you. You too.
There we go. Yeah. Careful when you're talking to people. I'm trying to mute them. I don't want to mute them when they're not when they're still talking. I do that. I think right now I'm being the rescue diver here, where I'm swimming away because I have to, because I'm not doing anyone any good by trying to save them, and that's what it felt like for a very long time with Tony. So I have to. Hang on. I need to finish this, please. I have to swim away because he needs to see it for himself, that my love is genuine. He may not think it. He may think I'm an ornery bitch all the time, but there is a motive to my Gemini madness. And the intent will never differ. I can swing one way or the other, doesn't matter to me, but my intention is always dead center. That's where my pendulum swings from. I'm going back to your analogy. It's a perfect analogy. Our pendulums swing too far each side, and we just have to bring them all back into balance. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I just want to get that out. That was for Tony.
Well, I just wanted to make the comment, sweetheart. Why do you feel like you have to save anybody? You know, you've got a beautiful radio show. You've got a tremendous listenership. And the fact that people come back every day to listen to you should be the satisfaction and fulfillment that you're looking for. You don't really need the verbal feedback. Just look at your numbers and know that these people call in to listen to you, to the wisdom that you have, to the knowledge and intelligence and the love that you impart to us. You know, it really does need a response.
Yeah. What I need to learn. Here's my mirror. What I need to learn is that I don't need to save everyone. Where my heart says, I love all unconditionally. And this is my wish. I want all to be saved, and in that I have a dichotomy, because I'm stepping on free will choice, and I have to be mindful of it. And this is just one more example of it, that's all. And this is my lesson, and I'm allowed to learn it, and I'm allowed to experience it, because it was one that I put before me. That I have to lose the internal need to want to save all. And I've brought this up many times. And it trips me up, it really does. So I'm finding the center balance on that. And what this is right now is an opportunity to stand back and go, yeah, you got to rescue yourself. So I'm reaffirming in myself what I'm saying. And then I need to look in my own mirror and say, yeah, okay, well, I'm still going at it from that viewpoint. I've still got a taste of it there, that I feel the need to, you know, I just want everyone to be happy, but that's not me. That's selfish, because why would I want to, you know, want something that maybe somebody else doesn't want? So again, there's my lesson. So I take it in perspective, and we're rolling into the recorded part now. So great big thank you for criticalmassradio.co.uk. Thank you, Paul, Lisa, and the crew on Critical Mass. So much love, so much gratitude. I cannot even. There are no words. I'll write you a song, though. That way I know it's a pure gift, and I don't know from whence it came, but it will come, and it will just drop out of my face and into my guitar. I got to get myself a new set of strings, and I told the studio guy that I've got to get back in and start doing some new stuff. And he was quite ecstatic, because I haven't been in the studio in over 2 years. So that's a long haul when I was in the studio every week. For many years. So I just wanted to share that. I'm here to learn too.
Just know, honey, that you are very, very loved.
Oh, I know that.
We love you very much love. And we want you to be at peace also. Not only us, you wanting to be helping us, we want to help you and have you be at peace. And so just know that the love is very strong for you. You're a very wonderful individual, and you've got quite a lot to share with us, and we love you for that. So I'm going to mute out and let you get back to some other people, sweetheart.
No worries, hon, no worries. And that's your beautiful mirror talking, and I just love listening to the reflections. It's like looking at this pristine pond. It's just, and that's the other thing with me too. I see everything backwards here. Because when I utter the words "I love you," I'm also reflecting it right back to myself. And I have been, for me, the hardest one in my universe to love. Like I said earlier in the show, if there's one thing, and I said this to Vicki today, if there's one thing holding me back, only one thing, that is the absolute terror of myself. And I'm working through it. And I know we all are. We all have our roads to take. We all have our paths. We all have our pieces. And whether you take I-40, I-75, I-80, whatever the case may be, you're all heading to New York, and you're all going to have different perspectives from different stops, and we're all going to stop at when we get to New York and go, hey, did you go that? Oh, yeah, I went that way once, and oh, that's so cool, and I've never been that way. What was that like? And this is how we get together. This is how we share each other. It's beyond stunning. It really is. So I'm just, I guess I should have done a shout out for anyone else that wants in the call here. Let me see. I know Steve's here. Oh, he tried calling, so I'm going to bring him into the call. One sec. Always love the wisdom of Steve. He's such a beautiful... Oh, you all are. You all bring such a really, really, neat spice to this beautiful recipe, this potpourri, this goulash we're making. It's quite stunning. Oh, my goodness. Who can complain, right? So, let me see. Steve, have we got you in the call, my friend?
Yes, you do. I was just listening. I didn't really have anything to say, but it was such an interesting conversation. I wanted to continue listening for a while.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely. Anything you want to share? Because you always seem to have this beautiful little gem nugget that you toss out every single night. So I'm going to be a selfish bitch and say, what's our gem tonight, Steve?
Oh, well, my goodness gracious. I guess the best thing I could put, I put it into your Skype, your Skype. When you were talking about Jacob's ladder, and we're all climbing the rungs of the ladder. Just remember, when you finally get to the top rung of the ladder, and you knowing what you do about construction, you'll appreciate this. It's a damn extension ladder. So when you get to the top rung, somebody put the extension up. You just got to keep climbing.
Got to keep climbing and keep going and keep going. That's why there's no one above anyone here. There's no one.
No.
And the whole feeling of that. And this is one of the things that I tried to dispel with the cafe. I didn't care if someone the likes of Shania Twain wanted to play the Songbird with us. No, you get your ass on the Songwriter Cafe Monday nights with us first, and then we'll see if you're qualified, right? Because for me, it was all about leveling the stage. It wasn't about look who's better than this and look who's better than that and look who's better than the other. And no, this was all about I want to see what you got, baby. I want to see your I-40. I want to see your I-80. Because everyone has got something beautiful to offer, and not one can ever dare to say they're above the other. Messages can differ and perspectives, and I listened to some amazing songwriters, and I had some incredible writers. I look at them and go, I wish I'd written that, all the time. And it's not out of envy or anything. It's like, wow, good grab. Where was the universe that day? Where was I? Oh, I was probably sitting down having a Corona or something, missed it.
No kidding.
But that's how I look at it, and it's not that one is better than the other. They're all beautiful spices. Okay, is cinnamon better than pepper? Well, it depends what you're cooking, doesn't it?
Well, I'm 55 years old, and the more I think I know, the less I know I know.
Isn't that true? That is so true.
Oh, hey, you have to celebrate this day with me and Susan.
Oh, happy anniversary?
No, this is our rebirth day.
Oh, nice.
We both became American nationals today.
That's right. Yeah.
No longer citizens of the United States Incorporated.
Excellent. Bye-bye, Corp.
Ashiwa.
Ashiwa, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna mute off and listen for a little bit because you guys got some good stuff going there, and this is my quiet time at night, and Susan likes to watch her TV shows, so I just enjoy listening to your wisdom, my friend.
Oh, hey, I love listening to yours. Look at the mirrors that we get to create here. I'm just going to see if MJ wants in.
You remember the riddle I told you about the mirror the other night?
Yeah. It's perfect. It was beautiful. And again, two sides of that mirror, wasn't there?
Yeah, look in the mirror, see what you saw, take the saw, cut the table in half, two halves, make a hole, and crawl through the hole.
Exactly. So it's, again, I'm amazed at how many people sometimes don't believe me when I say I'm here to learn.
Oh, gosh, none of us know anything.
I know. Well, we know everything, but we're the unknowing team, so we're the all-powerful creators, and they've been working our unknowing against us so we can make their creation to destroy us. It's a beautiful game.
Well, think about it this way. If you remember playing games when you're trying to figure out, you knew what the rules were, or thought you did, and so you're playing against all these other people, and you're trying to play by the rules, and you're trying to win this game, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh man, I didn't read all the rules. I read some of the directions, and I thought I had the game down pat, so I just went ahead and played it, and then you found out you should have read all the directions because you got beat because you didn't follow through.
Exactly. So. Wow, they're going nuts with the fireworks.
Oh, ain't they going great over there?
Oh, yeah. I guess they're celebrating for you, Steve. So there you go.
Hallelujah.
New intention. Guys, the fireworks are for you. Is that fair? I think that's great. Wow, birds, fireworks, what else are we going to have here? There are lots of trains and sirens. It's pretty cool. So we got a good mishmash of everything in this universe here. It's awesome. I would love for others to mute in and mute out whenever you feel like it, Steve. We'll run for as long as Blog Talk lets me run, and I think I'm going to have to go move my car in a second. So at that point, I will hand over the reins to you guys. You got Ninja and Carol, and I did not catch your friend's name, Carol, when she came in from Colorado. Area code 719. I probably had a firecracker going off in my ear.
I'm here, Kate. It's Mim.
Mim. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I didn't catch that on the first pass. Sorry, it's the blonde Irish thing, and in one ear, out the other, Gemini. Yeah. Bill, I was going to say, Bill Donahue does a really great series on the horoscopes. If you've never heard Bill Donahue's breakdown of the horoscopes, from his perspective, like Santo, he does something a little different, actually a lot different, and they're beautiful. When you put them both together, it's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. You guys, and I got to say, Santo and Bill, of everyone, just the pearls I have gleaned. And then took those pearls and made my own pearls and go, oh my God, look what I found with this pearl, and it's like this whole bucket of pearls over here, and then I just try to share them. So again, these are it's this domino effect chain reaction of getting these beautiful ideas together, and why these formats for me. I mean, I'm content to do open forums every night because I'll tell you, we could bring guests on and talk about this drama and that drama and this alien and that and the other rest of it, but that's fine. If you want that stuff, go to George Norrie and the rest of the crew, and that's already being done. And I know for a fact, this kind of radio right now that we're all involved in, this is your show, this is your station, your episode. And this thing that we're all involved in here is completely different. I know it is, because I have never, in all my years of listening to talk radio or whatever, have I ever heard a show like this. And that's what I want. I don't want to be, like everybody else. I really don't. And I don't want you to be like everybody else either. I want you to be you. That's my want, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but I'm just sharing, like I said the other night, this is my need. And if I'm selfish in that need, fine. It's like I dropped something off for Sue today, and I don't want her to ever feel obligated. You see, because the one joy I have, the only joy I have left in this universe, is my ability to create and give. And when I do that, I do it without obligation. I've always been that way. And I found myself many times on this road, when I didn't have anything left to give in terms of material, I was of no more value. And if anything made me sad, that would be it. It's like, did you miss me in all the things that I was trying to do and create with you and for you? The things that motivated me to do the things that I do. I wasn't trying to buy your love. I was just being selfish in wanting that joy of seeing your smile. And I'm absolutely selfish when it comes to that. I give to be selfish. And I give to be selfless. I give to be both things. That's a singularity. That's what gift is. It's a singularity. For me, anyway. I'm not going to preach to anybody. And I've said this before. I'll just share my experience as you share yours with me. And I'm looking to glean some beautiful little pearls from you guys, too. These are the pearls of wisdom they spoke of in the Kabbalion. You don't cast pearls before the swine. I'll leave that for the other radio talk shows, and they want to talk about their American Idols and their different artists and all the things that keep them glued to the physical. And I'm just trying to get a whole lot ethereal. I mean, that's my sign, that's my design. Gemini is the only one in the zodiac that is connected to spirit, the only one. That's why Geminis are supposed to be the messenger of the gods. That's why we have direct connect. People say, why is your memory so good? I said, well, I've always had a good memory. Always. Why? Well, because I connect. Memory's not inside you in this meat stick. No, I already told you that the other night. You can only store up to 3 months of. If we took everything for 3 months, every second, every instant, Your brain can only hold up to, they've calculated it based on the cell count and what kind of information can go into those, like a computer, because it's a biological computer, if you will, and only 3 months could be stored in it. Out of a lifetime? Are you telling me, I'm going to be 49 in a few weeks, that I can only remember 3 months of my life in detail? I assure you I remember a lot more than that. I can run through entire scenarios, hour after hour of it. And I know why, because it's not inside my head, it's inside my heart. My heart is connected to Source. So I store it in the cloud. You know the cloud thing they have going, Steve?
Yeah.
Store your files in the cloud? Well, that's what I do. I just use a different cloud, that's all.
Don't believe anything they tell you, only half of what you see.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, in every truth there's a half-truth. Every truth is a lie, and every lie is a truth. How are you looking at it? Are you looking at it from the North Pole going counterclockwise or the South Pole going clockwise?
Well, even the lies are fractal.
Aren't they just? Like the two-dimensional circle on a piece of paper is three-dimensional because you can never measure the area, because it will continually go on and on and on. The 3.1416. That's actually
that's looking into the looking glass.
Yeah. So that two-dimensional picture of a circle you draw is actually three-dimensional and beyond.
Goes down and down and down and
down.
Up
and up and up.
There you go.
So
you got it, darling.
It's a pretty cool thing. I mean, a lot of these concepts might be a bit heady for people. I got to tell you, when they kind of came in and went poof on the side of my head, oh my God, talk about wake-up call. It's like, wow. And then I go, how the hell did I think of that? Oh, that's right, I'm not thinking. It just comes in. But I got to shut up long enough. And if anyone wants to learn how to meditate, someone asked me that earlier about meditation, whatever. If you don't play a musical instrument, then pick one up, make it your friend, and be so diligent as to make it your friend, and you'll be amazed at how deeply you get into meditation. Or, as I said before, if get a potter's wheel and start spinning pots and clay.
I'd like to throw something in on that meditation thing.
Would you?
Yeah. I've looked at this meditation for years and years and years, and I realized that you meditate all the time. That's the yin and the yang of it. You don't have to slow down. You just have to listen. I don't. If it works for people, that's great. But I find out that you meditate constantly.
Every second of the day. That's why I love going out driving around, and especially when I have like an hour plus to go somewhere, because I just get into this beautiful zone of silence. Oh yeah, I got the the sound of the car and traffic and whatever, but it all gets blocked out, and then the Gemini twins start going off, talking to each other, and contemplate. And wouldn't this be, download, cool, check that out, right? But getting back, I just want to really drive this point home. Go to hiddenmeanings.com, Bill Donohue's website, and get over to his Zodiac videos, and you'd be amazed at what you'll learn with your sign. That's why I went through all of them, and I got a really neat insight from his perspective as well as Santo. When you put them together, you just kind of go, huh. A lot of people say, it's so complicated. Actually, it's not. When you start seeing the virtues of it, the clues that are contained within, because they got to tell you everything. The all-knowing must tell you everything. And because you're not all-knowing, you're the actually all-unknowing, and you're climbing up that ladder, it takes you a bit to pick up those little gems. And every time we pick up a truth, what happens? We can never forget it. It becomes part of us. That's another piece of the all-knowing puzzle that we get back, and this is what brings us back into that, as Carol so eloquently put, to bring that pendulum a little closer to center. If we went too far to the good side or too far to the evil side, it's still ourself. It's still the one. And I'm just done warring with the rest of me. Now I just have some fun with it, and I poke at it. It's fun.
It's a better shades of gray.
Yeah, I like gray. Gray works for me. And I don't know. I don't know what else I can really say tonight.
We'll let somebody else jump in there. I'm going to mute out and just listen for a little bit.
Please do. Shut me up. Get talking. That was you guys. I'm just waiting. Nobody have any comments? Come on.
Okay,
Ninja?
I do.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Steve, I want to comment on what you said about meditation, when you can really be meditating continuously throughout the day, because I that's how I do it. That's the only way I do it. I've always felt, until very recent years, that I was incapable of meditating because I believed I had to sit in the lotus position or something or similar, and I never could do that. But I always get my little moments of enlightenment or downloads and things while I'm doing mundane chores. I could be vacuum cleaning or doing laundry or whatever it is, and I get they're the times, and I'm aware of it. I pay attention to it.
That's because life doesn't stop for you, and don't stop for life, because it all goes on.
Yeah. And in terms of playing musical instruments, that's another thing I've never managed to do. But I do other things with two hands working together, making little crafts and painting or, whatever. And again, yes, that's also one way to do it. But I don't do it for that reason. I do it for the pleasure of the creation. But
get in your zone. What rocks your your world? What floats your boat and sinks your anchor? I don't care. You finger paint, tap dance. It doesn't matter. I just use music because that's one that that's what I relish in. Now
I'm going to throw something in there for other people that don't have artistic abilities like I don't, and who don't spend times with their fingers held together in certain positions meditating, and who just are stumbling through this crazy game that we're playing, this ride that we're on, and having such a wonderful time with it. Quit beating yourself up. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to do it like everybody else does it. You don't have to keep trying to find all these dang different ways to do it. Just release yourself into it and go forward, because you'll find out that sometimes you might be involved in the craziest worldly things, and your day is all screwed up, and the kids are yelling and screaming, or you got all this and that going on, your car's not running right. But realize that we all have our own places to be, and just relax and be peaceful with what you're doing, and don't try to find a cure, because you're your own cure. Nobody else has your cure. If that makes any sense.
Oh, makes perfect sense. You're your own poison and your own cure. Choose.
There's your yin and yang.
Absolutely. Can you find the dark within you as well as the light? And if all things in the mirror and all things considered, this is why I'm kind of having people look at all this poisonous light that is somebody else's light, not yours, because it's coming from outside of you, so it can't be yours. You can only be part of that creation, and someone else manipulated you out of that creation to build their construct in this physical universe. That's why, for me, I can never find an answer in the physical. I can't. For me, it is an impossibility. What I can find are shit piles of clues everywhere, because everything around you is already past. It's created, past tense. We can talk about we're in the creation of building a house, or we're in the creation of building this and doing that and all the rest of it. But the truth of the matter is, it's still within a past construct. What is already built, we're using the tools that were already here. It's like, look at all the things on this planet that don't resemble a forest or a river or anything else. Look at your appliances, look at your table, look at your floor, look at your house, look at your cars, everything else. Was that created naturally? Or did it come from the things that were already here, already created? We don't create in that regard. We reshape creation itself. So that's why this creation thing for me here is created, and it's stalled, because we're not creating in our own universe, creating something new. What we're doing is this thought that was planted, call it the Orion Nebula, that is pouring forth more and more poisonous light into our void, that we are going ooh and ah at, instead of going within and having no thought, and finally finding that beautiful light within us, and then turning ourselves literally inside out. and going, oh, isn't that cool? That's why you are the black hole. That's why you are the Stargate. That's why you don't need anything in this realm to be that, because you are that. And where I run into issues with physical mostly, especially talking with Tony and others, is the fact that why would I, and this is me, okay? I'm not, again, this is me asking me these questions, not you. And that's that third party thing again. Why would I want to use a physical in their realm teleporter when I am one? And it's just up to me to find out how to be that again, because obviously I forgot. And of course I did, because I'm all unknowing with all power, but I'm not ready for, at this point, until I get complete grip of that pendulum to get it fully centered, I am not ready for that God responsibility. And I'll use the terms, again, I just love taking the charge out of them is all. I'm not ready to take on the full responsibility of that. As soon as I utter something, it's created. Of course, in other dimensions, that's why you have infinite dimensions, so that the crazy shit can go somewhere. Seriously, it's got to be out there somewhere. You created it. You are the creator, the unknowing one. So watch what you say. Careful what you wish for, because it is manifesting in one multiverse or another. Promise. And the all-knowing knows it, and they're just kind of trying to keep a grip on it. So we keep ourselves very busy. When I am ready, and when I come into that center point, that 0 point within me, the love, unconditional, I'm still working towards it, but for me, that's such a beautiful goal to go for. And of course, it's infinite. The all, the one of all, will never fully attain that, and that's the joy of the game. And it just keeps getting better and better. Can you imagine getting even more unconditional in your love every single day?
Well, yeah, but you have to be aware of one thing. You still live in the three-dimensional realm, so you can love yourself on all dimensions and understand all you want, but you still have a responsibility while you're here in this three-dimensional realm we're in to take care of what needs to be done.
Bingo.
And so, try to ascend and try to climb the rungs of Jacob's ladder and try to be an ascended being anytime you want, but you're never going to get there unless you take care of what you're supposed to do in the three-dimensional world first.
Well, that is part of the manifestation, yeah.
Yeah.
We created this. See,
let's take care of this right now. We can do this.
Oh, we're already doing it. It's beautiful. This is our mess to clean up. I mean, we know we've kind of made a mess of this beautiful, blue marble in space, Well,
I guess what I'm saying is that people, and I myself, don't get me wrong, because I've gone through the gamut of a lot of things and still probably have a few gamuts to go through. We try to find a way to say, I'm bringing myself above this so I don't have to deal with it anymore. No, the point is we bring ourselves above it so we understand it, and then we come back down and we deal with this, because this needs to be done right now, and that's what
we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're doing, and you said that so very eloquently. This is about finding the higher self to bring that wisdom to the lower self in order to evolve this realm, because we all have a responsibility to each other.
We can't run away from this one. We have to take care of it first.
Oh, I'm not running away. If I was running away...
I know you're not.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm putting
that you out there again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, my perspective is I'm not running away. I'm standing here, heels dug in, baby, and whether you can or not, that's your call. And whether you choose to or not, that's your call. I fully agree with that. That whole concept, yeah. I have a willingness, and in my own nest that I have shit in, to clean it up. Right? Not everybody can do that.
In your own corner, you got to do that.
Exactly. It's like it's like going to the bathroom and putting the toilet seat down and flushing it, and then you go somewhere else, and someone else comes up, and there's a little brown nugget floating that didn't go. You didn't bother to check your mess behind you. So you leave a beautiful visual for someone else, right?
Great analogy.
It's there's more truth to that one than you want to know.
Yeah, you want to go into that? We could talk for a while on it.
No, it's when you follow kids after into public washrooms where there's only one toilet, and yeah. Oh, thanks for that. Appreciate it, Flesh.
I'm gonna do what I said I was going to. I'm gonna mute out for a few minutes to listen.
Yeah, okay. I just don't know where I want to go from here. I think you guys have brought me into a beautiful place, and I'm hoping that I've done the same. I'm resonating it back from you. So then, these are the kind of things that I'm looking for every single night. Because if we can glean one gem every single night from each other, if there's something we can all take out of it, we win. We find one more little resonant piece of the truth, and that's another little piece of our truth puzzle. Whether we all find it, doesn't matter. As long as one of us out there, me, whoever, it doesn't matter, finds that piece and puts it on the table. Because here's the joy of it: it's going into the all anyway. So we all get to be the 100th monkey with every little gem that we glean. So what I do in my downloads matters for all, in as much as what you do for yours matters for all. Because there are, infinite truths out there. And infinite lies too, be careful. Anyway, and what you discover, what that epiphany you have from your very particular perspective is the 100th monkey. That's one more piece that we all need, so thank you. I am so grateful that I didn't have to go slugging from my perspective, and probably never find that, because that's not from my perspective in this particular game. That was yours to get, and you found it. Good job. Throw it on the table. Oh, look at the picture. Isn't that cool? It's just getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And the picture of you that I'm seeing getting built, that's the puzzle, by the way, you, is getting more beautiful, literally by the minute. And pardon my excitement, pardon my passion, pardon my run for the roses. And I have to say, and I have to bring Dan into this, because what was said earlier with regards to songs resonating, it's one of the reasons why so very few songwriters, so very few, is the only one that really comes to mind for me in terms of bringing it home all the way every single time. Every single time is Dan Fogelberg. Because every one of his songs, another great writer, Chris de Burgh, who is not with us anymore in this particular realm, in that particular body. But some of these beautiful, Spaceman Went Traveling, Chris de Burgh, leader of the band, Dan Fogelberg, Run for the Roses, Make Love Stay, Longer. What's the morning one, Steve? I can't remember. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. But I got to tell you, Same Auld Lang Syne. Every one of those songs just hit home for me, and it was a very real thing from my perspective. And I think if there was one thing I was, reaching for, is to try to catch some of that same essence of such a master of songs as Dan Fogelberg. And I know he wrote from his heart, because I felt every single one of them. And if there was anyone I wanted to emulate in that ideal, I'm not going to write the same song. I might write things that are vaguely familiar and similar, but Dan's got his, I got mine. But I tell you, the essence, the true full-blown essence of what he was doing was what I was trying to emulate. And that, can I actually put something together as I catch it to emulate the same and invoke the same beautiful sensations within others as he has invoked within me. And again, forever the student. I'm a decent guitar player. I'm not an aficionado. I'm actually a very basic guitarist. I'm a melody writer. That's what I write. Lyrics and melody. That's and I can throw all the chords together I need to get the melodies I want. I don't need to have a repertoire of 500 chords. No, I get by with about 100, 150 or so, different ways of putting them. Not even that, actually. I'd probably say there's maybe about a dozen stalwart chords that I use, and I just rearrange them. I've actually done little tests with myself to see if I could take the same chords and write different songs with them. Same chords, same progressions, everything. And it's amazing how that works, and they sound entirely different based on different melodies. So, and of course, the first instrument I ever learned to play was the penny whistle. So I was kind of already melody driven ingrained very young. I picked up penny whistle when I was 11, and I learned to play it. No one showed me. I just sat and made it work. And yeah, it's a pretty cool little instrument, actually. It's not an easy one to play either. A lot of people think, oh, it's only got 6 holes. I said, yeah, and you got to get every note out of it. So it's all about the breathing. It's all about positioning of the fingers, and I can play a penny whistle in 3 octaves. It's all breath related. So there you go. Just another little Katie insight. Big deal. But anyway, guys, we still got about 20 minutes here. Please jump in. Mim, Ninja, Carol, Steve, anybody, just jump in.
Okay, what's everybody please tonight? There you go. Go for it.
No, just 10 seconds. I want to tell you, both of you love this songwriter, this Dan Fogelberg.
Yes.
And I thought it would be interesting if you didn't already figure it out that his name means, in Dutch, it means then, which is Dan, then, and Vogel is bird, and Berg is mountain. Thought you'd like to know that.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I tell you what, I got turned on to Dan Fogelberg by a great friend of mine who's now in the other life beaming great things to me by the name of Paul Parks. And we met in a motel out in Loveland, Colorado in 1973. I hitchhiked out there, and I got one of these little rooms and right below the Big Thompson Canyon. And it was one of these that had like 7 units, and they rented them by the week. And we played guitar through the walls for like 2 or 3 weeks because he worked nights, I worked days. We never met each other. So we would play in between the walls together. And we started playing Dan Fogelberg's music back then. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip for me.
Yeah, I think if I can get up the nerve, I'll take a run at Lang Syne tomorrow night, or leader of the band.
Well, I tell you, I heard what you were saying. Oh, hold on just a second.
Yep, no worries.
No, Susan's yelling at me. I got to mute out.
No problem. I'm going to bring MJ in because he just tagged me to get in here, so I'm going to bring MJ into the call. And there he is. Let's see if he's got it on the other end. Just want to check others. Sorry, guys, I get in zone and...
Hello.
Hey, there you are, MJ. How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. Okay, I'll mute.
Oh, okay. I was just hoping you could come in.
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I just, it's pleasing, delighted with myself. The sun came out. People are popping by. So just kind of jump into my world. So, I heard some of the show. It just gets crazier and crazier.
Isn't it great? And we don't mean to. It just kind of goes there. It's beautiful, eh?
Yeah. It actually, from my knowing, it's beautiful. I understand the contrast that other people may go through, but I know it's. You know that I know. You know that I get it.
Oh yeah, I've had many conversations with you. I'm thinking of changing the name of the show from Outside the Box to Bits and Bites, because you put your hand in, and every time it's a whole new ball game. You don't know what flavor you're going to get. So it's true.
Or don't name it at all. They're just like, it should be a numbered show or something.
Yeah, this is the one show. Just call it that. OTB, baby, OTB.
What Susan just told me is she was, excuse me just a second, just for anybody who's interested, she watches her TV while I'm in here talking to you all. She just flagged me down when she heard me talk about Dan Fogelberg. And tomorrow night, I think it is on the, I don't know, whatever she watches, Music Awards, they're going to have a big tribute to Dan Fogelberg.
Oh, well, there you go. I don't have a TV, so...
well, I don't watch it.
I'll catch it online. I'm sure highlights will show up. So, no, it's... oh, man. Well-earned, and again, look at that. The songs that he caught will live on. So there's no way he's not here. That's the joy of it.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And
anybody who hasn't experienced his music, just put it up on YouTube. It's all there. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. Touch your heart, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember I actually watched one of the interviews. He rarely did interviews, and he did it with Regis to Rule and Kathy Lee. Isn't that funny? Okay, well, yeah. Look at that. Catherine Purity, Lee Calm. To Rule, the Purity Calm, right? That's kind of funny, Regis and Kathy Lee. Anyway, just an observation. But anyway, he comes on and does the interview with him, and of course he got asked about Auld Lang Syne, was a true story. And it was actually based, he took a few creative liberties. The girl it was written about, her name was Jill. And but it was based on a true story. Christmas Eve, he was down visiting his parents in his home state. And I think he lived in Colorado. And he came home for Christmas, and of course this ex-girlfriend of his from high school, they both ended up meeting at the convenience store at the same time, and that's what the song was based on, the premise. And it was just, and it is, it's an everyone's story, either from the male or female perspective. You know, met my old lover in the grocery store. So it's playing Christmas Eve. It's just, you know, it sets the stage. It sets that whole emotional impact of, you know, seeing someone that was, say, an old flame in high school, and just having that, you know, just for a moment, I was back in school and I felt that old familiar pain. Is that looking at them going, oh, yeah. But nothing lasts, guys. Nothing lasts. Everything is in a state of evolution. Everything is moving forward. And it always will. That's the whole thing about creation. It's just a matter, do we want it to be our creation or someone else's? And for me, it's just about seeing the most glorious, most powerful, beautiful, unknowing beings in the universe a little freer every day. By sharing, hopefully, with what I share, that might resonate. And there I am being selfish again. I'm seeing these beautiful truths and going, oh, you need to know this. It's like watching a great movie and going, oh, and you can't describe the movie. You gotta watch it for yourself. I'm just trying to hand out tickets to the show. It's friggin' awesome. If you want them, great. If you don't, great. I love you either way. You know?
People that get it. Simple as that. The people that get it.
I know. And it is. It's just like that. Twinkling of an eye. Boom. I got it. Oh, yeah. And that's the resonance. And these are the feedbacks, MJ, that I'm looking for. These are the ones that say, oh, did you get that? Yeah, okay, so that one resonated with me. It resonated with you. Okay, so we're on to something here, TikTok. I'm going to tick, you're going to talk, and we're going to go back and forth, okay? And that's all I'm after. Such bitch that I am. Huh.
Well, tap into the lurkers. Like I very, very easily would have listened to you for years and never sent you an email, never engaged in a call, taken all the knowledge, moved on, found someone else that had another piece of the puzzle, and just moved on. That's what I do. I don't have to researchers.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do if you want to find the cause, right?
Yeah, I let everyone else do the work for me.
Well, that's easy. Well, yeah. I mean, we can sit all day and stare at the effects. There's lots of them. It's called Planet Earth and everything that's going on at drama. Or you can start looking for the causes of those dramas, and that's what I'm after.
And it all comes down to perception management. If everyone doesn't get that is the whole war. The whole war has always been and always will be perception management of the human race. As far as those that are, that's what they do. All right, and if they can manage your perceptions, then you're managed, I guess.
Yeah. Can they keep you in the bread and circus? Can you be bought with the bread and entertained by the circuses? And if you can, then you're government. Your mind is controlled because they have you looking exactly what they want you to look. And again, why do these little events happen? Because they want you looking there. They want you feeding the energy because you see what's happening as things ramp up. It's because they're trying to create more things to look at to get more energy, but as they do it, it exposes more and more of the bullshit and lose more people. So evil by definition must destroy itself because we're not out to destroy ourselves. That was part of for me, that was the intuitive part of the game that said, well, we got to make up, we're not going to actually destroy our own consciousness here. So we were pretty careful about it, putting that fail-safe in place. And the fail-safe for me is evil in its destructive way must destroy itself. That's what destruction is. So it makes total sense that eventually the evil that we consider that, that contrast of ourselves, eventually has to, devour its own tail. It's a dragon eating its own tail to the point where it devours its own head. And then we move on and do another game, For me, it's pretty simple, but, that's just me. It's not like I got this, better viewpoint or whatever. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just this is how I'm looking at it. I guess, as you call it, I've managed my perception. Go ahead.
Yeah, once you've opened up that door, it's you just can't take. I understand. You can't take because you hear the intent in the voice, and I hear it too, where you hear a certain pitch where people start talking about the stuff that's going on in the world and the powers, what the powers that be and what they can do and all that kind of stuff. And you can hear it in their voice, and it's just like it comes from a place of less than-ness. Period. That's what it's not coming from a place of power. If you're going to talk about those things, talk about how you're going to use the names things to come into your power, or take what you want, or have what you want, or give what you want. Whatever it is that pleases you. Some people it pleases them to help. Some people it pleases them just to collect things. You know what I mean? It's just I'm not against. Well, you need to help me with this. It's I love things, right?
Right.
But how I acquire them is the fun part. I get so many things that just get given to me for free from just friends and stuff. Things just flow freely and easily. If I need I don't need anything. That's one of the reasons why it happens.
But you're interested in the game, and you're not being possessed by your possessions. That's why they call them possessions.
Speak your intentions. It's you can think you can think about all sorts of bad things, and that won't manifest. Okay, some people can dwell on things for long enough and thinking where it actually then comes into what we refer to into their middle kingdom, where it's just the resonance from their feeling comes out into their body, so it actually does get out, right? So it is actually resonating out. But really, if you just think about things, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to manifest. But when you start speaking it, or talking about it not happening, or it is happening, and half the time, there's so many of these double negative type things. You have to word it so carefully, and then you take it to the next level, and breaking it even deeper than what I was taught. So it's just I can barely speak. It's I have to qualify. I'm speaking in common tongue, therefore my intention is not what my intention is. It's just
yeah, I know. It's it's when you're going to go, wait a minute, what? Okay, are they going to get the right? You stop and think, are they getting what I'm saying? And then you find yourself doing this a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you just don't want to say anything because you know that in anything you say, it can be taken one of two ways. And of course, the old joke, right? The husband and wife, right? If what I say to you pisses you off, it's not the way I meant to say it. So put that in the opposite, and that's what I meant to say. It wasn't meant to hurt you. It was meant to, love you. But again, for me, it's about being mindful of how we deliver things, It's like one of the little gems that Tony shared the other night. It might have been last night before. About taking those intentions and writing them out, holding them up, putting them under your pillow. What you're doing is you're taking that intention, manifesting it into the physical, using their sigils, with the understanding that the sigils are your power now, and then just holding it up and sleeping on it. These are beautiful actions that we can do to get things manifesting in the physical. That's why I tell people, I'm not interested in anything but your intent. That's okay. I'm not interested in anything but your intent. Box a signature on a $20 bill just to see what it feels like. You'd be amazed at the power you feel. It's like, oh, look, I don't care. I lifted the signature off. This is a worthless piece of paper. It's no longer skin, but someone else is going to use it, trade with it, right? Now it's a powerless, no spirituality contained within it because you took the power out of it by saying no more. No more names. Get it off there. And it's about the intention, changing the intention. That's it. If it's your intention to drive I love Carol's analogy. It's your intention to drive I-40, I-80, I-70, whatever the highway is. What is your intention? It doesn't matter. We're all getting to the same destination. I intend to use this road. You intend to use that one. And we're all heading to the same place. The same intention, and it's about making this beautiful creation even more beautiful, and then more beautiful to the infinite levels that we can. And only in the darkest of contrast can we have a perspective. That's why contrast to me is so important.
So
Only.
Oh,
go ahead.
You're still in the country. You're still in the country right now. You're in the burbs right now.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of.
Kind of. Well, in city, sort of. Oh, there's some. Yeah, there's some wilderness nearby. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm downtown. I grew up just being out in the city, and so many people in the college are smartly, just gotten out of the cities, and I so wish I could just actually get out of the city. I can have whatever I want, but sometimes I need to be bigger because I have to watch creation, and I need to create. That's what I'm here to do, is to create. I'm here to learn as many disciplines. Is discipline?
Yeah, disciplines. Like different angles of looking at different things. Yes.
Well, that's what I'm here to do, is learn. I just want to learn all sorts of different disciplines, because it allows me to. We live in a time now where if I want to, I can learn all sorts of different things. What do you guys think the Jesuits did? To become a Jesuit, it's like those guys you gotta learn what. Whatever your inkling is, that's one of the things they tap kids for. That's when it starts from throwing kids out of the canoe, you know what I mean, of the Jesuit camps and stuff like that they used to do, and actually in your province. One of my best friends used to tell me stories when he was a kid. But they find the area that you're going to excel in, and you will just study and study and study. So you need someone that's got a PhD in biology, a PhD in psychology, a PhD in chemistry, a PhD in quantum physics. You know what I mean? And then also knows 7 languages.
Because they're masters in it, and that's. and what do they give us, MJ? They put everybody in a public school they put us in public schools, and they say you're going to learn this, and you got to learn everything along with everybody else, and we're not going to specialize you in anything. We don't care, and maybe just maybe you might find your way through it and find what makes your heart float. Because look, why do they have high school counselors? To see what you want to do in life. That's the difference, right? Because what you're speaking of is, and Sana talked about this too. Wouldn't it be great to have all the zodiacs to have gatherings together? All the Geminis go to class and study this. All the the same design sort of thing, right? But we all kind of hang out together. And what do they do with us in schools? They divide and conquer us right from the get-go. And in Ireland, that was one of the things that they did in school, was they actually separated it. So it was part of that. I would even call it a caste system. Where first 2 forms you were all general stuff with everybody else. All the SWATs hung out with all the whatever weren't that interested in academics, right? That's the only reason why kids don't excel in academics. They got no interest in it. That's not floating their boat. And with me, so first 2 years in secondary school, they just put you all in a melting pot, and then at the end of the second form, based on your marks, they put you in the classes. 3G1 was we were called the SWATs. 3G2, which were the almost SWATs and not quite, and it was like soccer over there. The bottom 3 in say in 3G1 would get moved down to 4G2, and the top 3 in 3G2 would get moved up into 4G2. So you actually there was a purpose to your marks high, right? Because you didn't want to drop down into the second division soccer.
That's right. You guys have your education system is different, because you have grade 13, right?
Well, no, I'm talking about Ireland.
Oh, you're talking about Ireland? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
even weirder.
And then of course 3A and 3B. You had 3G, 3G2, 3A, 3B. As you can imagine, they go from the complete academics, and again, it is a caste system. And if you were in 3B, you were basically the rough and tumble. Didn't really give a shit about your marks, and and nothing mattered, right? You were totally not academic at all, and they were effectively corralled you there to, put you into a life of menial labor, right? It was again, it was an elitist, sickening elitist, and that's exactly what you're talking about with the Jesuits. They just started it a whole lot younger. As soon as they saw where you excelled, just like in the native cultures, as soon as they found, someone liked basket weaving and that was their thing, that's kind of what they got into. And the same thing with hunting or building, skinning animals, whatever you love to do, they let you do it, and let you excel in it.
And and you know what? And I do the same for I do the same for so many different people. That I see talents in them. Like there's, a person lives in my building and always likes to come by and just hang out and whatever and smoke and stuff. And and he has like a nice old vintage iPhone. And he takes the most gorgeous shots on this little stupid camera, right? And he just has it. I work in.
They're National Geographic cover shots, every frickin' one of them, eh?
Yeah, no, he's got it, right? I'm just like, and it's just like he's got lots of time, and I'm just like, he's got money. I'm just like, why don't you just go get like a half-decent little camera, or just upgrade your phone, or whatever, and you will blow your mind. Like you have the eye, like you got it. It's just like, and
it's a gift of the moment is what I call it.
And he's getting it. He was in for like one of our friends because he was in a coma for over a month.
Oh wow!
That kid's in the guff. He doesn't even. He has no. He's functioning. He's doing all right. He does his thing. He screwed up with his leg, but I know that he is still dazed, and that it's going to take him probably a decade to realize how actually even what happened to him. It makes any sense.
Oh, totally does.
He's functioning, but he doesn't know who he is yet.
Totally understood. Yeah.
You return to source, right? When you actually go to that dark place where it's just like, not the light, the dark place where it's just like, oh shit, I'm actually gone. This is the place where you go. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to cut you short, but we're sitting with about 4.5 minutes left here, and yeah. It's
I had no idea. I thought I came in late.
Yeah, we cranked her. We cranked another 3 hours. It feels like 10 minutes, guys. So, any last comments? I'm actually going to do another run through a rescue. Now that we've had a chance to really talk about it tonight, I'd really like to send that marker home. So, any final comments? Let her go now.
I got one to ask you.
Sure.
When you're done here, could you give me a shout out real quick? It's something I wanted to visit with you about. Take about 2 minutes.
Sure, absolutely, no problem.
That'd be great. I just didn't want to fight up, but that'd be good.
That's all right. It's all good. Well, listen, we got just enough time to play this song to get us off the air tonight, but we'll continue this as we always do tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Critical Mass Radio Online, Blog Talk Radio, criticalmassradio.co.uk. Oh my God, thank you guys so much, and we'll seal it out with a song, and we'll catch you on the other side tomorrow night. Love you all.
Thank you, and bless you, Kate. Thanks for sharing your resonant feelings.
Okay, rescue.
My pleasure.
Thank you. I think if we get people emailing in, they can decide whether this song makes the album or not.
All right.
My hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away. It's just a word away. I've watched you try, I've seen you spread your wings to fly, without a place to land, not so much as one horizon, but you push on through, every wall that still surrounds you. Set down your stubborn pride. It's a friendship I can't hide, so take my hand and rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue is just a word away. It's just a word away. You think that I don't hear you when you say you'll find that's true. It's what you cannot say. It's your eyes that give away. I know when my friend's hurting, that's why I'll share the burden. I've been where you are right now. I'm still there, still learning how. So take my hand and rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue is just a word away. It's just a word away. Take my hand and rest your weary heart a moment.